Back on that scene, brothers and sisters. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. The rain has ceased. It rained like hell, man. Like damn man, full 2 weeks, man. Full 2 weeks. Had an interesting discussion to like 3 a.m. yesterday on another channel, the brother Judah Nazareth's channel, man. It's Old Testament, white people. There's the Lord done away with, a little bit of Paul. It's a lot of confusion out there. I could see and understand why someone new who has stumbled onto this faith may be confused. There's so many things to believe and follow. So many things to believe and follow, man. But everything is determined by the Holy Spirit, where it directs a particular person and what's written in Scripture. Bottom line. Let me get myself together. Spare me a moment. Yeah, so I could understand why someone may get confused. You know, when I first came into knowledge, I remember being shocked that this was the truth. All this stuff these brothers were showing me out of the Bible. And I was kind of defiant at first. And the only reason I was defiant is because I knew I would be I would have to be committed if these brothers could shut me down and prove me wrong. I knew I would have to be obligated to follow the Scriptures. And from that point on, I've been here. That was in the 90s, but I could understand to a degree why some people would be confused. But I say this, that there's not much time, whether you're confused or not, there's not much time to get yourselves in order, because unstable man or an unstable woman who lacks discipline and being consistent and being on top of themselves is doomed to fail. You will fail. These are times where you have to have the Holy Spirit, man. You have to have the Spirit of the Most High in you. And if you don't have that, you will fail. You will fail and you will suffer and you may even die. I was watching the news and we talk about the white man, but our people are just plain savage, man. Savage. Now, a person who don't understand, that's because they don't understand the curses. The curses are clear. Why are we going through what we're going through? And it's not going anywhere, man. It's not going to the damn place. The curses are here to stay, and that's it, bottom line. But it's quite sad, man. I look at the people, and clearly they're suffering, but they don't know what they're suffering for. I look at the drug addicts and the drunks and alcoholics who have made the streets their life and chasing that get high, and they don't understand why they are going through what they're going through. Fortunately, we're blessed, and that's what it boils down to. We are blessed, and the Heavenly Father, He has blessed us with this gift, and that's this truth. So, I see brothers and sisters who squander this gift. They take it lightly, and they end up back in the world and negro them. And that's a bad position to be in, man, today. Hey, Shalom out. Good to see you. Bad position to be in, man. But we'll talk. Let's just let me get this out the way. Let me get myself set up. Sorry, I'm late. I'm about 4 minutes late. Let me get myself straightened out, and then we can continue this conversation. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. To the brothers and sisters on the highways and byways, teach hard, teach strong. Don't let up. Speak the truth. Don't be afraid of their faces. The harder they make their faces, make your face just as hard. Be right back with you. You know, the Lord told Daniel to hide certain knowledges, if that's a word, certain knowledge of prophecy and judgment until the appropriate time. And just like we don't know when the ultimate judgment of the Lord will unleash, the Lord said, no one knows that time. You know, only the Father, not even the angels know when that judgment is going to come. All we can go by is what we see happening on this earth today. And by the proper judgment, you can prepare yourselves to a certain degree where you won't fall victim to the devil on a large scale. And what I'm noticing as time progresses, we have to train ourselves to even cut off ties with family members, people close to us, and even people in this faith. And the more you struggle to make that move, the more you struggle to go against the Most High and where he's directing you, the more you're going to suffer and the more pain and anguish you are going to feel. And in certain cases, you may even be put to death by associating or tying yourselves to certain people. This is not a club. And I was explaining to the brothers last night that we have a job to do. And our job is to edify brothers and sisters in this faith. No matter how you feel, no matter who's your friend, it don't matter. And none of those things matter. What matters is how you get down in the Most High spiritually. So certain things is ordained to be revealed in his time. The Lord told Daniel, he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up. See, certain things in that time were closed up. Certain things in this time is still closed up. But we have enough knowledge that you don't need Kabbalah. We have enough knowledge that you don't need the book of Jasher and all these weirdo books that a lot of brothers are associating and connecting themselves to. The Bible alone, if well studied, and if you choose to be obedient to what you are reading in the word of the Most High, if you choose to keep the commandments of the Most High, you will enter into the kingdom of heaven, Most High's will. Because this is not hard, but at the same time, it is hard. This is not difficult, but at certain times it becomes difficult. And a lot of it is because the old man in all of us, we all have the old man in all of us, fights to keep you in a Negro, Puerto Rican, and Dominican spirit. Fights to keep you in a Mexican spirit. You understand? So these are the things we're trying to break out of. We're trying to break out of those spirits and seek the Most High and lay down and relax. Key word is relax, because when you relax and when you trust where you're relaxing at. So in other words, trust in the spirit and let that take you to where you need to be. Bottom line. You understand? And it's difficult because we're coming from an area or we're coming from a lifestyle that's poison. You know, that's why the Most High said he would remove us from the heathen and from the idols and all the things that defiled us and sprinkle clean water, meaning the Holy Spirit, on us. It's just a matter of time as far as your calling is determined. And you brothers and sisters who have found your lot or your place in the Most High, now you have to develop and grow in the space where the Most High has you. It's like you were roommates with someone while working and getting yourself together financially. And as time went on, you finally got yourself together for rent money and furniture and so on and so forth. And you move into this beautiful apartment, and now you have to adjust and get yourselves right in this apartment. But anyway, the Lord said in Daniel 12, verse 9, he says, and he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. See that? Many shall be purified. See that? Many, the Lord said, shall be purified in what? In the spirit of the Most High. All these other religions, you receive no purification in these other religions. You receive nothing in these other religions but lies and serving the devil. You cannot serve two gods. You either serve the Most High or you're serving the devil. Anything outside of the Most High is of the devil. Any belief in religion that's outside of the Most High is of the devil. You can't serve both. And these are the crossroads that a lot of people, they run into, which goes back to what I was saying initially. I can see where the confusion comes in, but that's no excuse, because if the Lord wants you, if the Most High has a job for you, if the Most High wants to show you mercy, he's going to guide you. He's going to guide you in the proper direction. But now, if you are not in the Most High sincerely, if the ways of the world has a grip on you, you will not find your way in the Most High. Bottom line. And that's how the Most High operates. You understand? Or you can be in this for a season. You could be in this for a season and just fall out because the cares of this world, like it tells you in the story of the sower, Matthew 13, the cares of the world stunts your growth in the spirit. And eventually you end up back in the world. And you've seen it before. You've seen it. You've seen it many times in regards of brothers and sisters who cannot hack or travel in the Most High because they have not let go of the ways of the world. And that's a very pitiful, sorry position to be in, man. You understand what I'm saying? Very pitiful and a sorry position to be in. Check out what the Lord said right here. Because the unbelievers who's ordained to be in this, the Most High, he's going to bring them in. You understand? And he's going to keep them in. But certain of us, this is not for all of us. Check this out. The Lord said in the book of Isaiah 30 verse 20 says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity, see that? Adversity is suffering. Adversity is an opposition that's weighing on your soul or your spirit. And adversity is pain and suffering and dealing with what we're dealing with now in captivity. That's adversity. And the Lord, he dishes this out to all of us who serve him, men and women and men. But the Lord tells you in the New Testament that he will not give you more than you can bear. So it's up to you to study. It's up to you to be with the right people. It's up to you to learn the commandments of the Most High. It's up to you to learn the gospel of the Most High. It's up to you to examine yourselves whether you are in the faith. It's up to you. You understand? You can make a stupid decision, but that's on you. You could willfully sin, but that's on you. So we know from reading scriptures that adversity is a common and regular thing when serving the Most High. It's not uncommon. How you deal in the Most High or how you fall and get back up, that's going to determine where you stand in the Most High. So it says, though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction. See? So you have adversity and you have affliction, two key words when serving the Most High. Then it says, yet shall your teachers be removed. Yet shall not your teachers be removed in a corner anymore. So the teachers are right in your face. It's just a matter of if the Most High is going to open your heart to what the teachers are teaching. You can stay out there and live savage among the brothers and sisters because that's what you have out there. Savage lifestyles. Savage lifestyles. Hey, shalom, Bach. Shalom. But you can choose to live that savage lifestyle. A lot of you know it's hell out there. I want to show you something real quick before I go on. A lot of you know it's hell out there. You know what's up out there. A lot of you don't even go outside anymore. Every year, 4th of July, Memorial Day, just a few days ago, these savage ninjas find a reason to get high, find a reason to commit adultery, find a reason to fornicate, and it's always on the white man's holidays. Chicago sees least violent Memorial Day weekend in at least 16 years. So they're saying that the killing went down in a time span from now and within the last 16 years. 4 people were killed and at least 21 wounded in shootings across the city last weekend. Let me read that again. 4 people, black people, were killed and at least 21 wounded in shootings across the city last weekend. So why is that happening? Because we know that the curses that are written in Deuteronomy 28 pertains to our people. We know these things. We know that the Most High, he has a judgment and he has curses. And because we disobeyed the Most High, this explains why we are dying at a phenomenal rate. That's what it is, bottom line. Check it out right here.
The City of Chicago's safety plan was put to the test, and so far it does appear to be passing as the police department prepared for a pretty large Chicago Memorial Day crowd. Less than 24 people were shot this weekend. That's about half the number from last year.
You hear that? Do you hear that? Let me play that again. Check this out.
For a pretty large Chicago Memorial Day crowd. Less than 24 people were shot this weekend. That's about half the number from last year. Our Sade Gray live for us in the newsroom. She caught up with the mayor about his summer safety plan. And what are the early reviews, Sade?
This is why our Lord says to stay away from our brothers and sisters who are in a beastly mentality. Do not choose to be unequally yoked with the unbelievers. I know you got family members, you got people you grew up with. You got people you love who are outside of the faith. But just like prophecy says that things will get worse and worse, you're going to see a change in a lot of your family members. You're going to see a change in a lot of the people you love. And you got to toughen up and you got to see reality, because the judgment is going to fall on them within their stupidness. The judgment and the hammer of the Lord is going to fall on them eventually. And if you are unequally yoked with the unbelievers, smoking weed with the unbelievers, or hanging out with the unbelievers to an extent, I hang out with my friends that's in the world, but I limit that thing, man. And I'm very conscious of where I'm at when I'm with these particular people, and I keep myself in spirit. I understand. Then some of you get bored. But you better be very careful, because as things progress and things get worse and worse, and as we get closer and closer to World War III, these repercussions of the Most High can fall on your head and your family's head. You see what's happening with Trump? You see how quick that thing changed? It looked like we were going towards peace. Now we're on the World War III Zion train all over again. So all the people who had faith that maybe this country can bounce back, all the people who believe that they were going to get a different job and they were going to be prosperous in America, at the drop of a dime, missiles could be launched, disaster can hit. And I didn't even get to the natural disasters that hit this country every year. We didn't even get to that. Look how many storms we are experiencing now. Look how many companies are fleeing or laying off. Even though we look like we're doing well, these people are liars. But the focal point is our people and their wickedness. You have to be very careful who you are around. You have to be very careful, and you have to accept reality. Our people are animals. I know you don't want to hear that. It feels like we're talking negative against so-called black people, but you got to accept this reality. When Christ was on the earth, we call him Yahushua in the Hebrew. When he was on this earth, in John 8:44, he said, "Ye are of your father, the devil." He called them vipers. This was mainly the leadership. But a lot of people believe in the leadership. They believe in the foolishness. They believe in Rome. And our scriptures say there's no new thing under the sun. In the same way, our people were under the scrutiny and oppression and being killed by the Romans. The children of the Romans today are doing the same thing to you. They're killing you every day. but it's more systematic. It's through drugs and bad food and terrible living conditions. So it's more sophisticated, and you have become dumber in 2025. At least back during the time of the Romans, you knew you were Israelites. You sinned in the mindset of knowing you're Israelites. Today it's even worse because the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and natives, they don't know they're Israelites. They only know Satan, hard body. And as we go further and further into the future, it's only going to get worse. As prophecy goes forward and America's judge, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's going to get a lot worse. So get that in your heart. So you have to toughen up, and you can't be in your emotions. I know you love your people. I know you hate the conditions that we're in, but again, things have to be fulfilled. Remember what it said in the book of Daniels, that certain things would be revealed in its time, and that's what's happening. Certain things are being revealed in its time. We go back to that real quick. It says, and he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end." Part of that, in general, is who are God's chosen people. That was sealed up. Why are we in the condition that we're in? That was closed up. Who is the devil in the physical arm of Satan on this earth? That was sealed up. Who will receive salvation in Judgment Day? That was sealed up. Now it's coming out. But at the same time that it's coming out, pain and suffering must come to pass, man. Let me see what's going on. Oh, boy. I hope this brother's going to be obedient because it's too early, man. Hey, can you hear me out? What's going on? You got a question? You got a question, brother? All right, you got that Babylonian Metro PCS cheap phone. I don't understand. Can't hear him. Try one more time.
Oh, wait, I don't got no cheap phone, man. It's crazy. Why you be tripping like that?
What's good, brother?
Hey, man, I hear what you're saying, man. But one of the things I disagree with is Hispanics are not Israelites. I don't know
your line is like really bad, man. But go ahead, let me see if I can deal with it a little longer. Go ahead, say it again.
Okay, let me see if I can get somewhere else. I said one thing out of the many things I disagree with you with. I disagree that I think you're wrong about Hispanics being Israelites. Them are not my people, man. I don't know where you getting that from, but
where do you live at?
Where do I live?
What state do you live in? You live in Texas?
No.
What state do you live in?
Michigan.
Michigan. Oh, that's a different animal there. Well, in Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, DC, Hispanics are thrown in the ghettos with us. Hispanics go to jail with us. Hispanics riot with us.
Come on, man, you're a scholar. Is that
just follow me for a little while. Just follow me for a little while. Just follow me for a little while. This, you see in videos, you see in the news. Can you name me one group outside of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans? I use them as an example because those are the ones that's mainly recognized in the hood. Can you name me a group outside of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans that are closer to us than Dominicans or Puerto Ricans or Chinese? In other words, there are Chinese and Japanese and East Indians. They're classified as outsiders as far as us are concerned. In your case, you're saying that you don't agree with Hispanics being Israelites. The question I'm asking you is, can you name me any group that lodges with, do evil with us, get locked up with us, who are discriminated against us on a higher level than Hispanics? I don't know if that made sense. Can you name me one group historically?
Bro, again, you are a scholar and you're going to come with me with that type of question. I don't like that question.
If it's an incorrect question, you should be able to give me an example or answer that question. Simple question.
Okay, well, come from this
Spiritual
angle,
question,
then
though. Spiritual, but it's a simple question.
Hispanics, and so-called Negroes. Are you speaking of the ones who you talking about the Negroes who speak Spanish is born in
No, I'm not.
Puerto
No, I'm
Rico?
not.
Okay, so
I,
then be clear with the Hispanics.
I'm talking about
Hold
the
on,
fat.
let me be
Hear me
clear.
out.
I want to
Hear
be
me
clear
out.
with you with the Hispanic word.
Hear me out.
Because
So
if
you
you
understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Fat Joes. I'm talking about the Pistol Petes. I'm talking about my Harlem brothers and sisters in Spanish Harlem on 116th Street. I'm talking about Miguel at the bodega. I'm talking about Manuel, who's a part of the gangs up in the Bronx. I'm
so
talking
you in
about.
New York. Okay, you in New York.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter where
Are
I'm at.
you in New York though? You talk about
I am
New
in
York, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
but listen what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if I'm new in New York. You still don't agree with the same people I'm labeling or mentioning, sorry, as our people. So I'm asking you.
People like Fat Joe is not my people, man. I don't know where you getting that
All
from.
right, fine. Stay with me though. Stay with me because it's not hard. You're being evasive. Listen to what I'm saying. I named a bunch of people. A bunch of people. So you're being difficult and you're being disingenuous.
I'm saying, but don't spare out words about being evasive. We're not even done with the conversation.
All right, so you don't go anywhere. Answer my question. Can you, out of all those people, or what I believe tribes of our people, out of all those people I mentioned, can you name me any nationality outside of those people who bond closer to us, live in the hood with us, get locked up with us, get discriminated against with us on a higher level than the people I just named?
First of all, Hispanics don't bond with us. They don't get locked up with your people. As you say, your people, they don't get locked like that. No, that's not true.
You a question, brother.
That's
Let me
a
ask you
lie,
a question.
bro.
All right, you said they don't do these things. You said they don't do these things. Let me ask you a question.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish responding. And then when people go to jail and prison, they tell you how it is. It's a complete separation. The Negroes with the Negroes, the Hispanics with the Hispanics, and the whites with the whites. So
Who's
stop playing.
Who's more likely to experience police brutality? A Puerto Rican or in a Dominican or East Indian or Chinese person? Who's more likely to experience systematic racism, police brutality? A Puerto Rican and Dominican or Chinese or East Indian anywhere in this country?
Again.
So now you're not answering. You're being evasive.
Now let me answer it. Be quiet for a minute and let me answer.
You're going to stick specifically to that question. Answer that question. Answer that question.
Let me answer the question, boss. Now, first of all, you using the word Dominican. You using that word loosely. Be specific. If you're going to use that type of, I ain't done yet. If you're going to use that type of questioning, all Dominicans ain't the same. That's just the name of a.
That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with my question. That has nothing to do with my question. I'm not going into who's a true Hispanic and who's not a true Hispanic. I put out on the table. I'm gonna mute you in a second because you're not playing nice.
I know you're gonna mute because you can't deal with the information. You're not letting me answer the question.
Answer the question. I said, let me answer the question again and be specific. Just who's more likely to experience police brutality and systematic racism?
If they are
a Puerto Rican of listen to my
question. I already know your question. You don't have to you don't have to ask me no more. I heard the question the first time.
A Puerto Rican. Listen to what I'm saying. A Puerto Rican of Indian descent, not Negro descent. A Dominican of Indian descent, not Negro descent, or Chinese or East Indian. Who's more
We're not done here. We understand this is an elementary question. Listen, man.
Who is more likely? Who just say which one?
And be quiet.
He knows.
I'm gonna
answer the question. Oh. If you dodge, I'll just go move on because you don't want to answer.
No, because you weak. That's why you'll move on.
I'm not weak. You never. It's a simple
fight, bro, and be strong. Be strong. I'm about to answer your question, but be strong. Don't run. Don't run. When a greater power come towards you, don't run. Be strong. Now, when you say Dominican, Puerto Rican, there's different types of Dominicans and there's different types of Puerto Ricans, just like there's different types of Americans.
Which I don't care about. I
So
don't care about that because I told you.
Let me ask you a
I
question.
said of Indian descent.
If they're Indian descent, that's not my people. If they're Indian descent, they're not our people. Period.
All right, but that's not the question though. The question is which group is more likely.
So it's going to be the Negro descent.
No, you did not.
It's
All
gonna,
you told me was
it's going to be the Negro descent. It's going to be the Negro descent, bro.
He's not listening. He's not listening.
It's going to be the ones that.
He's not listening. All right, so I got to mute him because he's not listening. You're muted because you're not listening. Listen to his stupid answer. He's telling me which is Indian and which not. I'm not asking about that. I'm not asking him about who's Indian and who's not. I asked him who's more likely to experience discrimination. And he knows damn well not only are the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans in the hood, because it's a spiritual question. It's a spiritual question. I don't need to know who comes from who and whatnot. That's a whole different line of questioning and discussion. But because he is so proud and because he wants to deflect and be foolish, he will not answer that question. He will not answer that question because he understands where I'm going. But because the devil is in him and he's so rebellious, he don't want to answer that question. And it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to answer if you don't want. But we know what's up. We know that they catch hell, man, way above Chinese. But you classified them in the same boat as Chinese as heathens. We know that Dominicans catch way more hell than East Indians in New York City, in Chicago, anywhere in this country. And you classify them as heathen just like everybody else. So this is not hard. This is not hard to understand. You're making this hard to understand. Let's see. I give him a chance again. Let's see. I'm gonna unmute him and let's see, will he answer the question? Will you answer that question?
You got me on mute, man.
Yeah, you're off mute now. Will you answer that question?
You know, for you to be a teacher, you are very impatient.
No, I'm not impatient. I recognize.
No,
you did not answer the question. I asked you a question. I'm gonna mute you again. Because you're not gonna talk over me.
That's how you want to communicate.
No, I want you. Read the comments. Everybody see you ducking. Everybody see you ducking except you.
I don't care about the comments.
I don't care about the comments. Then we are wasting time.
Let me answer your question and be quiet.
Okay, you're gonna answer the question now. You remember the question? Repeat the question.
I don't need to hear your question again.
No. Repeat. So how do you,
let me finish. Let me answer the question
I asked you.
Let me answer your question, bro. The Negro Puerto Ricans, the Negro Dominicans are the ones that get the problem, not those Indian Hispanics. No, it's not them.
I didn't ask you who gets the problem. I asked you who gets the problem most likely, the worst between Hispanics and China. Let me finish the question because you said you knew the question. You're telling me something. I'm gonna. The Negro is the one again because he's not listening. He's not listening. And this is the problem. And you Hispanics, you gotta see this thing, man. You got a lot of simple weirdos who don't understand spirituality or the spirit of the Most High. You cannot convince me that a damn Chinese man or an East Indian man has more love for me than a Hispanic brother or sister. That's dumb. I grew up with Hispanics. I'm not saying some of them can't be stupid and racist because they were groomed that way, but there's no way, absolutely no way that you're going to convince me that they're one and the same with Chinese and East Indians as heathen. There's no way. You sound dumb. So cut it out. All this month, they've been having pictures of Latino gangs all throughout Facebook. You know, understand? Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Let me see if I can pull that up in NYC. From the 1960s, man. I'm sorry I got to mute the dude, but he's acting stupid now. He's acting real stupid. So I can't rock with that. I'm a spiritual man. And you brothers in the comments, You're spiritual too. You know what the hell is going on. Look at this, man. How do you explain this? Look at this. It's only these dummies that hate the 12-tribe chart that says this, that stupidness. Look at this. This is in New York City with you so-called Negroes. You got black Hispanics, Indian Hispanics in the hood. Look, here they are being arrested by cops. How often you see that with Chinese? But you label these guys as outsiders and not our people. Look at this, straight here. 3,004 New York City gangs. Look at that. Gang homicides. Look at this. So how do you explain this? Look at this. Same thing in the 80s with the break dancing. Same thing, blacks and Hispanics right here. Where are the Chinese at? Where are the East Indians at? Like I always say, these got to be some magical heathen, brother. You Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, you got to be some magical heathen, because how did you slip through the cracks and end up in the ghettos with blacks, West Indians, and Haitians? Huh? The migrants, the main ones they fear are the Haitians and the Hispanics. You got migrants who are Europeans. They don't talk about that much. You got migrants who are Chinese. Why are they mainly spewing out hate against you so-called Hispanics? Let's unmute them and let's try to ask the question again. Are you still there? Are you still there, brother?
Man, you got me on mute, man.
I'm going to keep putting you on mute until you answer the question. I asked you a specific question, and you're going to tell me about who's who and so on and so forth. I asked you. Listen to the question.
Stop muting me. Every time I'm about to answer the question.
If you answer the question, you're good. If we can have a civil discussion.
Stop muting me, and you are here to answer. But
no, you're not giving me the, no, you're not giving me the answer. You're dipping and dodging. The question pertained to who is discriminated against the most, not who's an authentic Dominican, who's an authentic Puerto Rican. Who is discriminated against the most? That's the question.
Hispanics as a whole are not discriminated against. You don't know what you're talking about. If they do crime,
but are you discriminated? Listen.
See, you don't let me finish answering.
Because you're not playing right.
Crimes they supposed to be discriminated against.
What's that? I'll give you a chance. What's that?
Hispanics are doing crimes they supposed to be discriminated against.
Okay, so are you saying that Chinese and East Indians don't do crimes?
They do crimes, yeah.
So my question to you, who is discriminated against the most, Hispanics or East Indians?
I don't know the record of that. All I know is
stupid. Now. You sound stupid. You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
See, you don't how you gonna explain it? Let me finish my answer.
You sound dumb. You don't know the answer to that. All right. All right.
What I'm saying, I don't know.
Wait. You said you don't know the answer to that.
No, the statistics.
Listen. Who's discriminated against the most, blacks or whites?
It depends who do the crimes. Who do the most crimes?
This guy's an idiot, man. Discrimination has nothing to do with crime. Discrimination is unjust. The discrimination is unjust treatment toward one particular group or an individual. I'm asking you, who's more likely to receive unjust treatment from the powers that be, the authorities, the white man? Hispanics or Chinese? Listen,
neither one.
Neither one. Get out of here, man. You on drugs. Get out of here. I'm not wasting my time with you. Hey, shalom. Shalom, bro.
Shalom.
Guy's an idiot, man. You know, neither one. Because you're purposely being difficult. You're purposely being difficult.
No, because see, watch this. You're not dealing with what the point I was making.
No, you're not making a point, because I asked you a question, and that should be the point. That should be the point and target.
I said they're not our people. You're trying to talk about
I didn't question if there are people or not. I question whether you believe there are people or not. I question who's more discriminated.
That's not relevant. Your question is not relevant.
I asked you who's more discriminated against and who is more a victim of the white man, Puerto Ricans or Dominicans, or or Chinese or Japanese. You're gonna say, I
Yep.
don't know the I
That's
don't know
not the
I don't know
relevant for what you
I
think,
don't
but
know
your
the
question
number
is
of
not
that.
relevant
I don't
to
know
my
the number
point,
of
though.
that.
Brother, your
But
question is not relevant to my point I was making.
My
My
question is
point was
100%. I'm gonna read them again. My question is 100% based on your stupidity and your statement, because the point is, those groups of people I named, as far as the Hispanics are concerned, they're in the trenches with black people,
that's right. Yeah.
and they face the damn hammer and the scrutiny and the wickedness from the white man, just like so-called black people. You understand? The invasion, the Chinese, they have their own country. The white men didn't invade China. The Japanese, they have their country. The white men didn't invade Japan. I mean, to a large degree, and take it over. Same thing with India. The white man, he did evil in all those countries, but he didn't take it over. But the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and all these other Latino countries, they speak in the white man's language. They're following the white man's religions. And when they come to this country, they're thrown in the ghetto with the so-called black and Hispanics. So stop your damn foolishness and wake up, man. You ain't smarter than me. You know?
He said he had the nerve to say that he don't know who gets treated worse.
Exactly.
Blacks or whites or Hispanics or East Indians. I've never seen an East Indian get beat the hell out of by the cops, man.
Right.
In this country. I've never seen that. I've never seen them get shot in the back unarmed neither. Hispanics, I've seen that.
If anything, the same East Indians will call a damn Hispanic the N-word and the black man the N-word, and look down on them.
I've seen it.
But you idiots, you trying to say that they all the same. You know how stupid you sound, man? You sound dumb as hell, man. Come on. You sound dumb.
And what makes him think that Latinos are not our people? I just want to hear what's his reasoning for saying that.
You ain't gonna answer that question, definitely, but that's another question.
Yeah, I just want to know why does he say that?
Did you hear the question?
I'm not dumb. I heard the question, bro.
Well, could you answer that question? Try to answer that one. You didn't answer the first one. Could you answer that question?
I answered the first one.
Okay, whatever you say about that question. Why do you say that Hispanics are not our people?
Why you gotta ask the question over and over again? I told you I heard you.
No, I'm asking that question. I'm asking you that.
I heard you too.
Answer the question.
Again, all Latinos are not the same.
We
just like all Americans are not the same.
We know that.
So
the ones we claim as our people, why do you say they're not our people?
You're claiming the wrong ones as your people.
So
we don't claim Spaniards, Hispanics as our people. We claim the ones that are Indian or of Negro descent are people. Why do you say they're not our people?
Because we're not Indians, and people that's from India or people that's Native Americans, they're not our people. Period.
How do you substantiate that?
Native Americans was not brought here, brother. Native Americans was not brought here on slave ships, man.
Prove it.
So in order to be one of our people, you have to be brought here on slave ships. Is that your point?
No. The other point is
you said they're not our people because they weren't brought here on slave ships.
That's just one point, but the other point is.
I want to stay with that point. I want to elaborate on that point. I want to question that point. So, in order to be our people, you have to be brought here on slave ships
from Africa.
So, the brothers? So the brothers and sisters who are in Africa who didn't come here yet on slave ships, are those our people?
It depends on their genes, their genetics.
Oh, come on, man.
Genetics?
Yes. Genealogy. Listen, brother, I'm answering your question. You think you smarter than me? You can keep. I don't care if you.
I just asked a question. I still.
Okay, I'm trying to answer your question. So genealogy. You don't even know. I'm answering your question. Let me finish. Genealogy depends on what their genealogy is. It depends on what the Native American genealogy go back to.
What does
we come from Israel, right? But Native Americans don't come from Israel. They don't come from that genealogy stock.
Prove it. See, you going into you looking at.
What do you mean prove it?
Listen, you're looking at the outward appearance, right?
No, I'm
You're
not.
saying so.
No, no,
So that's
no,
that.
I'm
So
not.
that takes me back to my first question. Prove that they're not our people. You said not all of them are the same, and you're
Brother, just their name
wait.
in it.
Listen. You just told
My God.
the elder. You just told the elder y'all choosing the wrong ones. So which ones are the right ones that are our people?
You said Native Americans. Which question do you got now? You got another question on the table?
No. I'm going back to the first question.
Okay, so thank you. Just let the audience know that you switching back
No,
to another question.
I
So
never
You
you
never
said
asked
that.
me.
mentioned
Oh,
natives. You
yes,
mentioned
he said,
natives.
no, he said Native Americans. He said our Native Americans are our people. That's what he asked me.
But
Also,
before that, what did I ask you?
you said something about the Latinos, and I said all Latinos ain't the same.
I
So
said,
not all of them are my people.
and then what? Because I didn't. You didn't
Then you
even
said something
answer
about
that.
Native Americans.
You didn't
Then you said
answer
something about
that.
Native Americans.
But you didn't answer that.
I'm about to. Native Americans, the name itself lets you know they're not our people. They Native Americans. Duh.
So
Shalom.
so
Hey,
our
Shalom.
people.
Hey,
Shalom,
Shalom,
bro. So
Lamar.
our people that say that they're Americans, are those our people?
Our people are not Americans.
But they call themselves American though,
Okay, but I answered your question. Our people are not Americans though.
brother. Our people call themselves
And Native
American.
Americans do not, and you don't see Native Americans got their reservations and everything, and they got their language.
What? You see
They're
how
not our
the
people.
so the reservations are something to glorify and to say that they have those. You think they would rather be on the
They were
reservation or
already here before Christopher Columbus and them
okay?
came over
So
here.
so how did they get in the reservations?
Because they under the jurisdiction. They got they got
They
chief
got
leaders.
conquered, right? They got conquered, right?
Well, yeah, basically,
The same people that conquered us conquered them, right?
brother. Again, they're not our people. You cannot make people that's here already before we even got here. Them people was here before we even got here.
So
Slucky.
He asked you a question. Okay, Lamar.
What
I
is that,
answered
brother?
it.
That's that brother.
There's a
Brother, let
lot
me
of
ask
people that was already here.
brother,
Anybody
let
here
me
that
ask
was hold on,
brother,
let me
can
make
I
the last statement. I'm about
sir,
to
can
make
I
the last statement. All right, yes, hold on. Anybody that was here in North America before the so-called Negroes got here, or before the transatlantic slave trade, are not our people. Period.
sir, let me ask you a question. Hello?
All right, I'm done with that statement. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, where's the proof that the American Indian are not our people? Where's the proof?
They were already here before we got here.
Listen, because they're already here before we got here, it does not mean not. It does not mean what you're saying makes sense. You're not making no sense. Because first of
Okay,
all,
well,
if you
all
know
right.
history, if you know history, the American Indian been here came here during the time of Syrian captivity. If you know about history, right? Now they came here during the time of Syrian captivity along with the rest of the tribe, and they spoke Hebrew. Now you have to show me a facts right now that to prove to
Show me
me
that.
that what I said
No,
is
you
incorrect.
don't.
Listen to me, please. Please listen. You have
Okay,
to
but
show me
show
a
me the
fact.
fact.
Brother, can you listen? Are you hell you gonna learn if you don't listen
I'm
for a
listening.
second?
I just muted him. You got to say it to me. I'll bring him on when you finish.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is, could you give me one fact that proving that what we're teaching is incorrect? Because according to history, even the so-called European know that American Indian came to America during the time of the Syrian captivity, and they spoke Hebrew. Now, if you do your research, what you're telling us now, you're not making no sense. You have to go back and do your research and bring us more facts to prove to us what we're teaching is incorrect. Because what you're saying make no damn sense. Because if a person, because you're saying that they are native, that means they're not our people. No, native means a person that born in a land, whether they're born here or not. That's the word native means. If you go get a dictionary, look it up right now. Okay? The American Indian knows Hebrew. They spoke Hebrew. They didn't speak no damn other languages. Okay? Columbus know the Indian here what they were Israelites. Okay? If you know about the Moors, all these people that were trading with the Indian way before Columbus came here, and they spoke Hebrew. They know each other. They didn't call them saying no. What you're saying that they're not our people. They know they were brothers to each other. We got books to back it up. So if we got a fact to back it up, you have to come with the facts right now, please, to back up what you're saying is facts for it to shut down.
you can't just say, "Oh, they were already here." And this
Exactly.
is why no, man. Anybody can say anything, but you have to
Right.
prove it. That's why I asked you to prove it.
I'm gonna unmute him now. See if he's gonna answer. Everybody, we're gonna see now. All right, brother.
All right.
Now you can
Y'all
go.
just
I got to do that too because you too unruly, brother. But good now. Now you answer that question.
y'all are unruly. You're unruly to me. So what's the difference?
I don't think so, brother.
We can name call all day long.
We didn't call you no names, but go
You
ahead,
just said I'm unruly. I think you unruly.
Okay, well that's you. But at least I'll answer your question straight up, and I expect the
I
same
answer
thing.
your question straight up. I do
No, you
too.
didn't. All right, well,
I
answer that
your question. You don't like that,
All right,
but
well,
you won't answer no questions because
reach
y'all
your-
like to play off.
what's your
defense.
what's your question?
Offense all the time. Okay,
What's your
look, he want me to respond. He did not show no proof. All he did is talk.
We show proof every week, man. Come on, man, with books and
I didn't say anybody.
references.
We talking about today.
And even if we showed you proof with books and certain references, you're not gonna believe. You're gonna still hold that.
He don't have no proof. He does not have any proof of what he just said.
Okay.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah, you can look up the ear course.
No, you can look it up. You can look it up and show us.
Exactly.
Ear course people. The ear course people are not our people, man. Them the people that was over here before we even got here. Y'all some liars, man.
So
right.
it was only a transatlantic slave trade. There wasn't no slave trade before that.
That's not the point I'm making. If
No,
you want to
no,
make
I'm
a point,
asking you. I'm asking you.
no,
I'm just
no,
asking.
that's not the point I'm making. So you can make a point if you want to make a point.
No,
but y'all
because
ain't
you
showing
said
me-
they were already over here. You said they
Listen,
were
bro.
already over here.
They were already here.
Nobody
was
was
no-
here, right? Nobody was here, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said people was already here.
No, what I'm saying is that
The Native Americans was already here before Negroes. Listen. Native Americans, I'm going to say it again. Native Americans was already here before Negroes got here.
Exactly. Before they got here, right?
Before Negroes was brought here on slaves through slavery.
Okay, so how did they get here? How did the natives get here? The natives.
They've been here for thousands of years.
But nobody was on this part of the earth, brother. Nobody was here.
Who told you that? Who told you that? Where you got proof of that?
That's
stupid what you saying. That's stupid what you're saying, man.
Okay, so the earth, right? Wasn't it in three parts? Which was
the copper color people was already here before
brother,
so-called white man got here. You don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, brother, let me get this for you. This is Second Ezra, chapter 13 and verse.
I think you should ask him, does he even believe in the Bible? I don't think he believes in the Bible.
I think we spoke to him before.
I don't think he believes in the Bible.
Where is he coming from?
He started off believing in the Bible.
Where is he coming from? The Apocrypha?
Yeah.
That's not true, man. You about to make up some fake history right quick? That's some fake history. That's not even in the Torah or the Tanakh.
But it's in the Bible though.
Yeah, it's in the Bible, but it's not in the Torah or Tanakh.
All right, so
let me make my statement.
Wait, but the beginning of the book, that's true, but everything that's in the Bible is not true. That's what you're saying?
Everything in the Torah and the Tanakh is true, but the
rest of the Bible is false.
Hold on, don't cut me off, man. What you afraid of? Everything in the Torah and the Tanakh is true. Everything in the Apocrypha is not true, and everything in the New Testament is not true.
So you do believe in the Bible then?
Again, I'm
just say yes or no. Why everything got to be a damn battle with you? Just if you believe in it.
Because you're not my slave master, bro. I speak with a high.
I'm asking you a question. You believe in the Bible?
I answered your question. You just don't like my answer.
What was the answer? I didn't hear you. Can you tell me again, please?
The Torah and the Tanakh is true. Everything in it is true. Everything in the Apocrypha and the so-called Christian New Testament is not true.
All right. Do we both agree that all mankind started in the so-called Middle East, and there were no people in the Americas during the time of the creation of man in the Middle East? In other words, all flesh comes from the East. It was created from the beginning time in the East. Do we agree on that?
If you go back and listen to what we said, I said earlier, I'm the one who brought that out. I said everybody came from Adam and his wife.
Okay, but you didn't say from where though. Okay, so we both agreed that it was in the east or the Garden of Eden, which is
they were in Eden.
Okay, which is
He was in
present
Eden,
day.
and then he was in Eden, and then God put him in the Garden of Eden.
Okay, so then my next question is what the brother asked: how did people of color get to the Americas? As time progressed, the Lord gave people their different lands and so on and so forth. How did they get to the Americas?
They migrated.
What proof do you have of that? What proof do you have of that? And how did they migrate? And how did they get to what means of transportation? Listen to me. When did they migrate? How did they get to the Americas? And who were they when they came to the Americas? 3 points.
Scriptures. They got here through the
He's not answering the question. They got here through the scriptures. That's all. That's your answer.
The scriptures let you know how they got here.
So I'm asking you, how did they get from what you read in scriptures? How did they get to the Americas? And who came to the Americas? What were their nationality?
What was their nationality?
And how did they get to the Americas? Scripture.
It was different nations.
We know that. Hold on. What nations were they?
You're not asking me the right question. What family do they come out of? Out of the three sons of Noah? Is that what you're asking me?
I didn't ask you that. I made it simpler than that.
Asking me a crazy question.
I should ask you what I should be asking you. I'm asking you a question. How did they get to the Americas? One, what was the nationality of these people who came to the Americas? All nationalities begin in the East. So who were these people that came to the Americas, and what was their nationality, and how did they get to the Americas?
Okay, their nationality is depending on if you're using biblical, you using scripture nationality, or you using modern day.
You give me any one you want. You pick. What were their nationality, and how did they get to the Americas? You pick.
Okay, well, I need for y'all to pick. No. You tell me what they.
This guy's an idiot. Come on, man.
No. You want to say that because y'all.
You don't have to say you don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
No, it's not about I don't know. You don't know because you're trying to say.
Why are you telling me? Why are you telling me to answer my own question? If you don't know, you don't know.
Because you don't know. You ask me a question you don't even know.
Again,
I don't need to listen to your question again.
Listen to the question again.
Wasting my time doing that.
And answer the question. Then you don't need to answer you don't need to hear the question again.
Again, they were not Israelites.
Okay, then what were they then? What were they?
Because Israelites lived in Israel.
What were they?
The Most High didn't give Israelites America.
What were they if they were not Israelites? What were they?
I don't care what they were. They weren't Israelites.
Oh my Lord.
This guy's an idiot. I just muted him, man, because he just.
Dude, how you gonna say we know that the Lord didn't give us America? What are you talking about? Nobody even said that.
I unmuted him again.
You just
get all of mine because he's not listening.
Yashua was saying something?
No, I'm just saying this dude is bugged out, man.
Right.
Put him back on for a second now.
He's on.
Hey, all right, brother, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, man?
Ways our proof, right? I have my proof right here. I got a couple books here, so I want for you to show me at least one proof of what you're saying, please.
Okay, I don't. You can have your proof.
Brother, listen, your mouth doesn't mean anything. Show me some facts. Show me some facts. Because if you get locked up, we always use this statement. If you've been arrested and you go to court, and even if you murdered a person, but you want to show the judge that you did not commit the crime, what must you have?
Again, my proof is the scripture. I'm about to give you proof.
Brother, okay, proof. All right, go ahead. Bring out your facts, please.
All I need is the scriptures. I don't need no crazy outside sources like you got.
Just give the scripture.
Yeah, sure. Man. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let you speak and bring out your facts. I'm gonna close my mouth right now. Okay, go ahead.
The scriptures let us know what territory he gave the Israelites, the land of Canaan. America has nothing to do with the land of Canaan. So whoever was over here, whatever race and nationality was over here, it was not our people, my friend.
So hold on. So the Israelites, they weren't scattered?
Okay, if they were scattered, anytime we got scattered, that means we was going into that means we went into captivity. Actually,
Okay,
To
so
be scattered as hold on, let me make the statement. To be scattered as Israelites, that means we disobeyed the Most High in some point in time, and so that
understand,
means He scattered us.
understand.
And when He scatters into heathen lands, not into our own land.
Okay, so are
Boy, y'all
there
tripping.
are there Israelites scattered throughout the whole world?
Now it is, yes.
Okay, so there are Israelites in America, right? Because
Now they're here. They're here now. They wasn't here like that. They wasn't here before then. They wasn't here ruling and
before when?
dominating anything before. Listen,
Before
they was not here and ruling and dominating the Americas before we got here.
Let's just
No,
see. Let me play this video. Let's see what this woman is saying. I seen this a long time ago. Let me see. It might be wrong, but let me see what she's saying. Check it out.
Have you heard of the Los Lunas stone that was found in New Mexico? The oldest rendition of the Ten Commandments was actually found in the lower 48 continental United States back in ancient times, right? And it's all written in Paleo Hebrew. So how would that be possible if you guys were here by yourself? Where would they get Hebrew from? Because that's what one of the language they were speaking.
About that is so I always have these happenstance meetings, which I know they were designed that way, but a bunch of people that were Jewish priests. They happened to get caught in a snowstorm, and we just happened to be at this restaurant, and they came in, and they don't eat hamburgers and things like that, but that's where they had to go, and so they sat at the table with us. And they were asking me, do you sing your language and everything? And they asked me to sing, and we're in this restaurant, and I'm like, okay. And so I sang a little bit for them, and the priests were just going, ah! They were like getting goosebumps and everything. And he was like, you're the word that you say, weya, the heya, it's ancient Hebrew. It's a form of dialect that's illegal for us. That was illegal for us to speak.
Wow!
Yes, and I already knew that.
Really?
Yeah, I already knew that because when this group, Linda Prince, when she was talking to me, she was invited by the Prime Minister of Israel to come over there with her drum group, and she was a chief, to go over to Israel to drum. And so when they went over there to drum, they began drumming, and the Prime Minister said, I want you to drum at the Jaffa Gate at 4 p.m. So they're like, not knowing, they went to the Jaffa Gate, they started drumming, and at 4 o'clock is when the Jewish priests, there were hundreds, came to the wall to pray. And instead of praying that day, they went around the drum. And they all began weeping and crying. And so the drum, they thought they were doing something wrong. So they quit, and then one of the priests, the chief asked, can I ask why you guys are crying? And the chief said, or the priest said, don't you know what you're singing? And they were like, don't you know Weah means the one who brings forth springs of living water. Heya is to the all-existing one. And at that time, she was like, in Canada, it's illegal to be native, and everything had to go underground, and so did the meaning. And then so they start going back and forth, and at that time now the drum group started crying because they had more revelation to what they were singing. And so since then they've been going back to Israel, and they had some kind of celebration called the Year of Jubilee, which they've been waiting for all the tribes to join. And it was like 100-year celebration, and the
So I mean, how is this possible? These people were in the Americas. How would they know this and know the Hebrew and know certain chants and prayers in Hebrew? You understand? And the truth is slowly coming out. It's slowly coming out.
Let me ask you a question. See, the thing about that is she's not describing how these people look. She didn't say they were black with woolly hair.
Oh my God.
She said Jews. It was Jewish people. It was Jewish people.
Hold up. Go ahead, Lamar.
Yeah, all right. What the lady just said, right? Remember what we said earlier that the American Indian came to America during the time of Syrian captivity? Now, this is a book right here. Not the same book we always bring out every week, different week. But we've got more facts, right? This is a book called A History of the Jews by Solomon Grindel. This is an Elamite so-called white, so-called Jew. Okay? A History of the Jews. This is what it said on page 496. I know the brother gonna say that it doesn't make no sense, but we're still gonna bring it up anyway, because we have
All
more.
right. The people listening,
No, check this out. On page 496 said, over a century and a half, the discovery of America, the New World, was still a land of mystery, right? Mystery. All sorts of stories were believed about it in Europe. For instance, about the middle of the 17th century, a Jewish traveler, Antonio de Montezuma, returned from America and spread a fantastic story that the American Indian were descendants of the lost tribe of Israel. The proof he offered was native Manasseh Ben Israel, however, was convinced and referred to the subject in his book, The Hope of Israel, which he published in Spanish 1650. He believed that these Indians were exiled from the homeland by Sennacherib, right? Sennacherib, 719 BC, have wandered across from Asia and into North America when they were spread over the newly discovered land. Because Solomon came to America, but guess what? With the Phoenician. But did he stay to America? No, he went back. He brought gold from America, and then he went back. Nobody was in this land, okay? We got proof more facts. He said the existence of Hebrew in far off America interests him because this seemed to be fulfillment of various biblical prophecy, then interpreted by the Christian to mean that the Messiah would only one day come after Israel being scattered to every corner of the world. And he got this precept called 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 39 to 46. Okay? Then he said, there are no doubt that the American Indians spoke Hebrew. Okay? They speak Arabic and other languages. Okay? And this is why Columbus need Hebrew interpreter so they could speak to the American Indians in the ancient tongue. Okay? Now, this is another book right here. Okay? Another book. This is another book called Black Jews in Africa and the America. Black Jews in Africa and the America. And page 67, it said, for hundreds of years after the arrival of Columbus, the most frequently invoked explanation of the origin of the indigenous population of the American continent, which is what? Yeah, the American Indian, North and South, and was that they were lost tribe of Israel. The Spanish embraced this theory with enthusiasm. According to the historian and missionary Juan de Torquemada, 1562 to 1624, it was Barcelona de las Casas, the so-called apostle to the Indies, who first proposed that the South American population was descended from the lost tribe of Israel. The people in South America are the so-called Spanish tribes, right? Right? According to the Irish lost tribe enthusiastic Edward Arden King, Viscount throughout, if you know the history of this guy about Viscount of King Barrow, the man went broke just to prove to the world that the American Indian are Jews. Okay? The celebrate Las Casas entertained no doubt that the continent of America had in early age had been colonized by the Jews known as American Indian. And he even goes so far as to say that the language of the Indian of Santo Domingo was corrupt Hebrew. And we could bring up more facts if you don't want, if you don't. And this book was written by a black man by the way, brother. Black man wrote this book, put this book together. Okay? And they bring up facts. Now, before 1490 to 1500, guess what? There were people way before Columbus brought a book proving the American Indian they were Jews. Because when Louis de Torres came to America, he was the interpreter for Columbus. So if the American Indian were not Jews, then why the hell did Columbus need a Hebrew interpreter? Okay? One more, brother. One more book for a second. All right? Now we have another book right here. Very great, well-known historian by the name of Eric William. From Castro to the history of the Indians. And he tell you on page, let me get the page right now. Because there's so many facts that proving the American Indian that spoke Hebrew is a shame. There's many historians know the facts that the Indians are Jews. This is page 1 or 2. Because when Columbus came here, he did not understand the language of the came to Puerto Rico in 1492, he did not understand what language the Puerto Rican was speaking. So he brought a brother by the name of Luis de Torres. He did the same thing in the Dominican Republic. You see what I'm saying? And came and did the same thing with the American Indians. So there's many facts on what this book is talking about. But Kwash, you guys could finish up. I'm gonna get the page just now. Okay, go ahead.
That's clear, man. Come on now. You can't fight that unless you could come up with a source that conflicts with what he's bringing up and what this woman is saying. I don't believe the woman in this video is a liar. And it's all, I got this from Facebook. There's all types of books and things that's on Facebook that back this up, man. The research is just infinite.
This is what y'all doing. Y'all reading Jewish history. Jewish people. All that talking you just did, you played the video, but then you want to cut me off, man. What? Come on, man.
Well, let me ask you a question on the video I just played. What is your opinion on the video? Do you think she's lying? Is she high? What?
No, I don't think she was lying.
It looks like these brothers is from Israel.
I don't think she was lying. I don't think she was lying. I think she was talking to Jewish people. Not
the Jewish people that confronted her in the video. The Jewish people that confronted her, they acknowledged her prayers and their movements as far as the Hebrews concerned. It goes all the way back to Israel, and they end up in Canada, I believe. How can listen? What I'm asking you, how can what she said, what her people are speaking in Hebrew, get to the Americas when the same language goes all the way back to Israel, unless these were Jews that came from Israel to Canada and various parts of the Americas? How is that possible? How did they learn this? Where did they get it from? Is it coincidence?
Listen, the Jewish people have been coming to America way long before Negroes even got to America.
White Jewish people, white Jews?
There's no such thing as white Jews.
So-called fake Jews?
They just Jews.
You said they were coming to the Americas?
Esau, aka the Jewish people of today, since we want century, I guess that makes a distinction. They've been coming, they've been ruling history, they've been writing history for over 2,000 years. So
no, are you saying they were coming to the Americas? That's my question to you. Are you saying they were coming to the Americas? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they were coming to the.
Can you prove that? Can you prove that? Can you prove that?
Yes, sir. I can prove it.
But when they came here, he did read it, and they had Hebrew interpreters. But when they came here, people were here already before them. So the people that was here before, let me finish my point. The people that were here before them, how would they know Hebrew?
Again, Jewish people came before Christopher Columbus.
Oh, this guy. I got Lamar. You got any books, Lamar?
I got a book.
He's not.
From Columbus,
hold on, brother.
From Columbus, The History of the Caribbean, 1492-1969 by Eric William. Okay? Now, on page 31, it said, there was no doubt in his mind, however, as to whether they should be kept in captivity in West Indies or transported to Castile, to Spain. He decided to take a few over to Spain to teach them the language. What language? Spanish. Okay? Now, on his third voyage in 1498, he shipped 600 Indians back to Spain. The slave trade in the Caribbean, this began as outwardly with American Indians shipping to Spain to learn Spanish. And not inwardly cargoes taking the form of Indian transport from the West Indies to Spain rather than of Negroes transported from West Africa to the Caribbean. In the meantime, however, the Pope had enjoined on a Spanish sovereign the duty of treating the Indian kindly and convert them to Catholic. The sovereign thereupon issued a royal decree whereby those Indians who accept Spanish sovereignly and submit to it will, without resistance, were considered subject of the crown and as such could not be reduced to slavery. The decree left the road open to the enslavement of those who resisted, right? The legal basis for slavery become the infamous requisition read out by a notary to native who did not understand Spanish, but rather they spoke Hebrew. native who did not understand Spanish, or rather, they spoke Hebrew, and per page 32 it said. So why would this? Another historian tells you the native they were forced to go to Spain to learn Spanish because why? Because they spoke Hebrew. So if that brother could bring forth more facts to say what he's saying to make sense, we will listen. But I doubt there's no facts on that.
Be quiet. Let me respond. Then you don't know what I got.
You don't got it. You don't got it. You don't got it.
Okay. First of all, everything that you talk is contradictory in the Torah.
No. If you would have had something, you would have presented
I'm about
it
to
a
give
long
my
time
source.
ago.
Man, would you please be quiet? The source is the Torah.
Because you just want to get up here and talk, brother. That's all you doing.
Say what I gotta say, bro.
I ain't heard everything you got to say. Though.
No, you did not. Be quiet for a minute.
Are you saying you have sources?
Let me respond, bro. I told you my source. It's the Torah and the Tanakh. And the Tanakh, everything that he just said is a lie. Because we were scattered. Let me finish. We lost our inheritance. We was without a king. We was without a language. But we've been without a king and a language for over 2,500 years. So everything he just taught is a lie. We was not speaking no Hebrew. We lost our Hebrew tongue. We stopped speaking heathen languages. So you're wrong. And we went into Africa, and according to the book of Jeremiah, to serve Egyptian religion or the Queen of Heaven. So y'all are lying with that Jewish history.
So, brother, show us proof. Show us proof. Show us proof.
We was in captivity. I just did it.
We got more books here, brother. We got more books here.
Okay, but your book is contrary to the Torah and the Tanakh.
This dude, he's not gonna believe anything that we bring.
You know,
this is real quick. Ancient Paleo Hebrew artifacts found in North America, Samaritan North Kingdom of Israel. After it's hard to read this. I'm sorry, but these are artifacts that had ancient Hebrew on them in the Americas. Now, some brothers try to say this is fake. This is not true. I don't believe them brothers.
It's real Hebrew. That's real. Because I have the book here on it. That's real Hebrew.
So how did these get to the Americas? You said that we're speaking lies. The white man didn't bring it here. We know that. The white man brought these stones. So you're saying the white man got on boats. Let me understand you. The white man, he got on boats and he brought these artifacts to the Americas. The white man. Is that what you're saying?
Show us well, not. I'm saying. I don't know if those artifacts are real or not. So I'm not gonna. So let me not speak on that at this moment.
So are you saying?
Let me say what I'm saying. You don't have to try to think what I'm about to say.
Good.
Okay. So nowhere in the Torah did it says Israelites will leave the land of Canaan and come to America and set up kingdoms and empires over here. You won't see that in the scriptures.
Well, I beg to differ with you because
in fact, we went into captivity. The last captivity we went in, it's been over about 25 or more 100 years. So how you gonna go into captivity, but then set up kingdoms and empires and nations in America?
Well, when you read the scripture, this is what I'm saying. The scripture says that in Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that days that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, meaning to deliver them out of captivity. The first captivity was in Egypt, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. From the islands of the sea. So we were scattered not just in different lands throughout Africa, Europe, and so on and so forth, but we were also on different islands of the sea. Are you going to tell me that those artifacts could not reach the island of the seas by the ancient Israelites? Is that what you're telling me? And are you telling me that all over the world, all Israel went into captivity from the scattering of us? James 1:1 says to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, all the Israelites went immediately into captivity. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you what the Torah is saying. I'm in agreement with that. All that other history that you're reading, that's not Torah.
I'm
Everything he
reading the
read,
Bible. I'm reading the prophets.
look, that's scripture, but that didn't say that we was gonna go to America and set up shop and be having our own language. No, we was gonna lose our inheritance. So we
We
lost
did
our
lose our
inheritance.
heritage. I'm not
So,
disputing that
how
with
you
you.
how
But
you
I'm saying
speaking?
initially.
Hold on, let me respond. So if you come over here and speak in Hebrew, you ain't lost your inheritance, brother. What are you talking about? You didn't.
But prior to me losing my inheritance, listen to what I'm saying, asking you. Prior to me losing my inheritance, is it not possible that we would know the Hebrew before the Spaniards came and destroyed us? We would know to have certain artifacts like this on the screen prior to the absolute destruction of our people. This couldn't exist. We couldn't do these type of things on different islands. Is that what you're telling me?
Okay, let's roll with what you're saying for a minute. Okay, so you said these people over here were speaking Hebrew like y'all saying.
Right.
Okay, so them same people are still here and they don't speak Hebrew.
Okay.
They're on reservations and they're not speaking Hebrew. So that would
Neither are
nullify.
you.
Wait a minute. So what I'm not the one claiming to be speaking Hebrew.
But the point
Coming
is,
over here.
none of us. But we all have been destroyed. All 12 tribes. We know none of us is really speaking Hebrew fluently. But my point is, hear me out. Prior to the destruction, why is it so impossible to believe that we could have put Paleo Hebrew on stones and tablets and jewelry prior to us being annihilated and losing our culture? That's what I'm trying to make you understand.
Again, we didn't come over here in the America speaking Hebrew.
Prove it.
And
can you prove that?
Because we can't. Listen, you're trying to make it seem like we came over here before 1492. And then
I believe we did come here before 1492.
Okay, and we had kingdoms over here, right?
Yeah.
We had nations, right?
We had our people over here, but the curse.
Okay, what was the name?
But the curse. Okay, I agree with you. Okay, bro.
No problem. So let's go with that. So what was the name of the nation? Our nation.
Israel.
Why would we?
But somewhere along the lines, you gonna listen to me?
So I'm listening. So I'm asking you a question. So it was named Israel. So where in history was America named Israel? When in history?
No, I don't mean the white man was ordained to take over this whole world. We fell apart because the curses. No matter, the scripture says wherever we go, the curses would pursue us. So just because we came to the Americas, that doesn't mean the curses are not going to pursue us. The Tainos and the so-called natives, they were butchered. They had peace among themselves to a certain degree. But because we sinned and worship other gods and so on and so forth, they had to fall under the curses just like the other tribes. I'm simply saying.
But I'm saying you said they had nations over here, though. You said they had nations. Them people are still here.
Maybe we don't understand what each other mean when I say nations. I mean, we came over here to serve the Most High, and we fell away from the Most High. When you read about that, when you read about the Assyrian captivity, we left to serve the Most High. But again, we always. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you saying you came over here in what year? The first when we first got over here.
I don't know the year.
Okay, give me an approximation. What was it? 2,500 years ago?
No, I don't think it's 2,500 years ago.
My question?
Huh?
What are you saying?
What year we came over to the Americas?
Approximately. As a nation.
We start coming to. You mean as slaves?
No, before the transatlantic slave trade, because that's what he's saying. He's saying y'all came over
before the transatlantic slave trade. The Moors was coming in way before that. Around 1100 AD time, they were trading with the Indians, and then because, like I said, the American Indian came to America around 722.
You
gotta,
if you ask him a question, you gotta hear his answer.
I know, but he speaks so fast. I didn't understand what he said. He said the Moors was trading with who?
The Israelites, the Moors, they were trading with the Indians.
And the Indians were who?
What?
I'm trying to find. And you saying the Indians were so the Moors was trading with Indians, aka Israelites. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. They were trading with the Israelites. Yes.
You got to show me that in the Torah. That's all. I mean,
You
this
sound
is what I'm saying.
sarcastic,
Hold on.
man.
I ain't trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm saying
You know
if
what I'm
you
saying?
can show me that in the Torah or the Tanakh, then that
But
could be more believable.
brother, can I ask you a question? Is everything we said about the history is got as the proof from the Bible?
Right.
The Bible said the truth shall come from the earth, meaning the archaeology. So not everything we talk is gonna be in the Bible, brother. No. If I tell about the word Moors is not in the Bible. The Phoenician is in the Bible. But what I'm saying is there were Israelites that was trained with the Indian way before we start coming to America from the west coast of Africa as slaves and so forth. Before that. You understand what I'm saying? Because we have our own kingdom. But during the time America wasn't called Israel, it was called a Turtle Island. That's what the Indian they name it as the Turtle Island.
Okay, I got a question for you. I got a question for y'all. We on the same subject. So we still on the same subject. The question's on the same subject. So you saying that, so what y'all saying is that Turtle Island was occupied by Israelites before Esau or the Edomites came over here,
Yes,
and before
yes.
any other. Okay,
Yes, yes.
and then we were trading with Moors.
Yeah.
And then also saying that. So what culture was these Israelites practicing when they came over here? I guess about 1,500 years ago.
The Moors?
No,
The
what
Moors,
was the Israelites?
they were
What was
Israelites.
the,
They
no,
were
what was the
Israelites.
no?
Okay.
Listen, just a question. What was the Indians, aka Israelites, practicing over here before the Moors came
They
here?
were practicing the commandment. They were dealing with the commandments. And I could show you evidence. They
I'm
No, 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 no,
a,
no. No,
I
no,
want
I mean, I asked that question for a reason because if they
Mhm.
was practicing the commandments, then there would have been no need for them to go into captivity. So that's contradicting the Torah and the Tanakh.
Brother, so let me ask you a question, right? When the Israelites came out of Egypt and they went to Mount Sinai, were all the Israelites breaking the commandment?
Can you ask that one more time?
Okay, brother, I'm trying to answer your question. What I'm saying
I
is,
didn't hear
right? You said that
you.
I'm gonna repeat exactly what you said. You said that if the Indians were keeping the commandment, why did they went into captivity? Now I just asked you a question. The next question is now, when the Israelites came out of Egypt, were all the Israelites were breaking the Most High commandment? No. But did all of them went to slavery? Yes. Because the Most High judged all of us as a nation, not as an individual. You see what I'm saying? So you got a lot of Israelites were keeping the commandments. Okay?
Hold on. Hold on. You said there was a lot of Israelites keeping the commandments and when?
Yes. Moses, a lot
When?
of Israelites was keeping the commandment. Some of them was breaking it by following other God and so forth. But the Most High allowed all of us to go into slavery.
yep.
Okay, so hold on. I asked you what were they practicing here as a whole in
Yeah.
America, in the Americas prior to as they call it the transatlantic slave trade or the Israelite slave trade.
Yes.
You're saying they was practicing the commandments.
Yes,
So
they were.
maybe so you say individually they was practicing the commandments because as a nation of people
Brother,
they
listen
were
to
not practicing.
listen to me. A lot, just like for instance, you see brothers in this modern church, we keeping the commandment. A lot of brothers out there not keeping the commandment, right?
Brother, I know. I was saying
The
you didn't
American
let me
Indians
finish.
keeping the commandment, but not all of them.
I heard you. So you saying as individual Indians, they,
Mm-hmm.
aka Israelites, they were keeping the commandments over
Brother.
here,
That's a
but
question.
not.
Question before. I said when the Israelites came out of Egypt, not all of them were keeping the commandments. A lot of them were breaking it. But the Most High, even though the one that was keeping the commandment, the Most High still allowed all of them to go into slavery because He got to judge them as a nation. Now, the American Indian, not all of them were keeping the commandment, but a lot of them were doing it. But the Most High what? Allow all of them to went to slavery when Columbus they came in. Because why? Because the Most High is not going to just judge you as an individual. Oh, you break the commandment, all of it, that's it. You go into slavery. That's what the Most
Watch
High
this.
did with us.
No, but let me tell you. Let me tell you why. Okay, you
You
got
say,
it. Okay, look. Okay, let me say it this way.
mm-hmm,
Anytime the Israelites went into captivity, the
mm-hmm.
main reason was because the leadership went into idolatry. It wasn't because necessarily the masses was doing evil. It was the main reason is always be because the kings and the priests was doing wrong and going into
No,
sin.
it
Hold
was
on, let me finish.
it
And
was
then they would
Israel. It was a
mislead.
lot of
Hold on, let me
Israelites
finish.
doing wickedness,
And
man.
then I know, but then they would mislead the people.
Okay.
That's
The
why.
same thing that's going on
So
today.
hold on. So this is, I'm just saying that to say this. So in America, you saying Indians, the original Indians in America were Israelites. They were not practicing the commandments as the leadership was not, evidently, because you saying the Indians, you said they don't even speak Hebrew now, and they never did because
Do we?
you
Do
you
we? Do we?
no, they
Do
don't
the
speak
do it?
Hebrew because they, hold on,
Listen,
they still
listen,
got they,
listen. Do the
hold
do
on, I
the
ain't done yet. They
average
still got
do the
they still got their language, bro.
do the average so-called Negro speak Hebrew?
Because we the real Israelites. The Native Americans are
So
not.
what's your point, brother?
He
Because
didn't even answer the
Y'all
question.
are,
He asked you, the so-called Negroes today, do they speak Hebrew? And you said, we don't have
no,
Israelites.
no.
Good
Right. As
question.
a whole, we don't. As a whole, we don't speak Hebrew. As a whole, no, we don't.
There you go. That's not hard. See, now we're having a discussion. See that?
yeah, so what so
When
by
I
that
said it
logic,
indirectly, though,
how are you using that as because the Native Americans don't speak Hebrew, they're not our people, but so-called Negroes don't speak Hebrew. So how are they our people then?
I responded because I said they are speaking their original language. They know their original language. They know their original culture. They on the reservations. They know their stuff. Them are not. They
Okay.
not. Them are not. Them are not Israelites.
So because they have a culture and they speak a certain language, that means that they're not our people.
They don't speak. They speaking.
What what
They
is
speak. They're
what is what
speaking
is
in their tongue. They're not speaking Hebrew. So when you say that the Native Americans were speaking Hebrew, which ones? Because they don't speak no Hebrew and they never did. They don't even claim to have. Go
brother,
talk. Listen. Go talk to some Native Americans. They're not
listen.
going to tell you this. Hold on. Let me just make a statement.
Go ahead, Doc. Bring my book.
If you go talk to the Native Americans
Brother,
on
hold
these
on.
reservations,
Bakwash, you have a book to bring us? Yeah,
okay, you got so-called Latinos, so-called Puerto Ricans, they speak Spanish. Is that their language?
okay. Notice you said so-called,
Yeah, because they're not.
right?
I said
So
Latinos.
some Puerto Ricans who live in Puerto Rico, they are Spaniards. Their father was a
Okay,
Spaniard.
okay.
right on that. What about blacks? Not all of us are,
Yeah, I was about to say that. Now some of us are Hamites and
black.
not Israel as well. I always get them with that same argument. They say, well, a lot of Puerto Ricans are real light skinned. They don't look like Spaniards. A lot of black people look like Hamites, or a lot of black people are light skinned and could be Esau.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything about cut complexion. I said I didn't even mention complexion. I said Spaniards.
Right. And I said Hamites or white man.
Right, but okay. So what I'm saying is that a Puerto Rican is like it's like saying an American. What kind of American are you, or what kind of Puerto Rican are you? Are you a
The
Negro?
Puerto I'm claiming as our people are of Negro or Indian descent. In this case, I want to stress Indian descent. You understand? That's what I
Okay,
want to
okay.
stress.
Guess what? Okay, so I ain't gonna say I'm a compromise, but I'm gonna say, okay, you know what? The Negro Indians, okay, cool. They are people, but the Indians, that's
Negro Indian.
Indians.
Yeah, what the hell is a
Yeah,
Negro Indian? What the? They always do that crap too. I say, what's
I'm
the?
just saying. I'm saying if you want to say, if
What's
you
the?
want to say,
What is a Negro Indian? What is a Negro Indian? What do you
so-called
look
Negro
like?
Indian would be considered an Israelite because he's
No, I
he's
ask you what. I
he's
don't ask if it's going to be considered an Israelite. I'm asking you what is a Negro Indian. I'm asking you.
okay. I guess I would be considered a Negro Indian then, because
No,
y'all saying this is Indian. Let me give you an example. You asked me, I'm telling you now. So I would be considered a Negro Indian because this is a byword, right? They're not calling me a Hebrew or Israelite. They're calling me a Negro American or a Negro Indian. So I'm because Indian is not my nationality. Now, in the north, that my land, my homeland. My homeland is Israel or Canaan, ancient land of Canaan. So in that sense, I would be considered a Negro Indian because y'all saying Indians was over here first.
I'm
Who
saying
y'all call Israelites.
I'm sure I'm going to share a picture on the screen. I shared it earlier. You see this picture of these brothers? I consider them brothers. Are you saying that these are not Israelites?
I can't see them, but I
You
don't
can't
know
see
who
them.
they are. I don't know they. I don't know their ancestry. You got to look at the father's ancestry to see
I don't
whether
know
you're an
your
Israelite.
ancestry.
Hmm?
I don't know your ancestry.
Exactly.
No, I know mine. I only can speak for me. I can't speak for them because I don't know their
Oh,
ancestry.
stop it, man.
So
But
so
if they got the same history as me, if they got a similar or very, very similar, very, very similar or the same history as me, then they probably Israelites.
No, you're saying if they black. We say
No.
again, we don't go by
No, I'm
just
not
black.
saying that they're black.
Let me say my
I'm not
point.
saying that they're black.
No, you're saying it's just if their history goes back to like where your history's at. I'm saying that we believe that not just black, but people of Indian descent who call themselves Puerto Ricans and Dominicans are Israelites. Just like the same thing, like the Seminole Indians and the natives that was in this country, we classify them as Israelites, and we just went through books. We went through artifacts that back that up. Those weren't when you look at the picture of Columbus coming to this country and the Spaniards, they were butchering so-called Indians, which we believe are our people, with stringy hair. They didn't have big noses and thick lips all the time. You understand? You don't see that many pictures. We classify them as Israelites, and when you look at this picture, we classify these people as Israelites. Why? Because the curse that's on them, a lot of them fell on them. When they come to this country, they throw them in the ghettos with us. They don't throw them in Chinatown. They are Israelites. When they go when police beat the hell out of people in the urban cities, it mainly beat up on blacks and Hispanics. So that's why that's why we spiritually look at it. You understand? Look at the pictures.
But the Native Americans are not thrown in the ghettos with us. They got reservations. If they live in the ghettos with us, that's because they want to.
That's a ghetto.
It's a ghetto.
The reservation.
We don't live. But we don't.
Oh wait. You
but we as black people, hold on, brother. But we as black people don't live on reservations.
Listen,
we don't got the casino.
Yeah, we do. What you think the hood is? That's a reservation.
Man, we don't. That's not.
Listen,
reservations, brother. Don't try to don't play games with the word.
No.
A reservation ain't the same as the ghetto, man. It's not the same.
All right, they catch hell on the reservation. Do we catch hell where we live?
Listen, brother.
No, do we catch hell where we live?
I don't know nothing about them catching hell on no reservation.
What? Man, do you know how bad the reservations are? Where suicide is high?
Okay, but
they're making it's all types of crime and all of that on the reservation.
Okay, brother, I'm not trying to persuade you. I got you.
No, I'm not. No, what I'm saying, I'm trying to make a point. Hold on. So the same thing that the Native Americans go through on the reservation is the same thing we go through in the hood.
I don't agree with it. I totally disagree with you.
Look right here. So
they got their language. They got their language on the reservation. You don't get it. They know their history.
The reservation. Show it to me. What language?
They got the history. They got their language. We don't in America.
What language?
We niggas in America that living in ghettos. We don't know no ancient Hebrew. We don't even know our ancient history or nothing. That's not true. We're not the same people.
Do they know?
I don't know why you keep trying to make them the same as us when they know their history. They know their language. They know their people. They know their genealogy. A lot of us in America, a lot of so-called niggas in America don't even know their genealogy.
Brother, can I ask a question? Bakwash.
Go on.
Look, I want to show this book. Maybe the brother might get it. I don't know. If he wants to get it, he get it. He might say it's wrong also.
Yeah, he gonna say it's wrong.
A book right here called Trail of Tears. Yeah. And the subtitle is called The Rise and Fall of the Cherokee Indian. And it tells you in the book that the Cherokee Indians spoke Hebrew and they kept the same custom as the law of Moses. Right here, The Trail of Tears. You read this book, brother, and it's the author, John L.A. Now,
I see. What did you say?
You still not gonna believe it. So it's a waste of time.
You have that page. You have that page where they followed the custom.
I try to get the page, man. I should write it down. Go ahead. I'm gonna try to find it.
Now, how would he put up a few sources and we put up some artifacts? How would that be possible unless the white man who calls himself a Jew came here and taught them all those things that they were practicing? Huh?
Okay, he did.
He did. You're saying the white man taught them that? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, where's the proof?
Because he went all over the world teaching.
Where's the proof? And what would be the purpose of doing that?
Because he's pretending to be us. The Edomites are pretending
to be us. So he's going to go and show the North American Indians Hebrew and the customs of the Bible from a Israelite perspective, because because the white man that's showing them these things are pretending to be us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
How does that even make sense? How is that even logical?
What do you mean? How is it logical? Why does he do that, or he doing it now? So what do you mean?
How the heck is that even logical? That don't even make no sense.
Let me respond to that. You said how is that logical? Why does that make sense? He's doing that now. He portrays right now.
Are you saying the white man?
Let me make the thing real quick. Esau is portraying right now to be the real people of the book.
Okay.
Of the holy book.
So what you're saying? Well,
so why wouldn't he do it? Why wouldn't he do it back then?
I'm not questioning that. I'm not questioning that. There's something wrong with you. I'm not questioning that. You said that he's portraying to be the people of the book, and more than 300 years ago, he taught while he was pretending to be the people of the book, he taught the natives the laws of the book, the Hebrew of the book, the traditions of the book, because he's trying to be the people of the book. How does that make sense? And where's the proof that he even did that?
Yeah, he did that. He did that. Not only that, he did.
Where's the proof that he did
that? I can give you a source. Look up Israelite Brotherhood, and that's a source. He's a scholar. He's a scholar. Okay, Israelite Brotherhood.
Damn proof, man.
Stop it,
okay. Well, the proof. No, what I'm saying is, I don't have. You would have to go to him and get that.
Come on. That's not even logical, man. You sound crazy, man. You drinking? That don't even sound right, man.
Exactly.
Come on, brother.
I got one page, but I got to get the rest of the page.
You can't find. Don't worry about it. Don't kill yourself. You can't find it.
I got one page so far, but this is the same book. But what happened? The other book, Trail of Tears, by the same author, is Water Damage. So I bought another one. I forgot to put the page in, but on page 1, right? Page 1, it said investigation were made in the 17th and 18th century to determine whether the American Indian were the lost tribe of Judah, right? And which is Israel, and it was pretty well proved, both yes, right, and probable either way, which made it an excellent topic for study and explanation. One popular of warm body and tearful, strange faces, beautiful waiting children, James Adair, an Irish trader who lived among the Cherokee for 40 years. 40 years. This is a white man live among the Indian. They decided that the Indian were indeed one of the lost tribe and wrote 7,000 words on the subject at a time when printed out were there. He used evidence such as topic as their divination into tribes, their languages and dialect, their festival, feasts, and religious rites, their observation and anointment, their laws of uncleanliness, the avoidance of unclean things, their practices of marriage, divorce, and punishment for adultery, the ornament. All these proving that the Indian are from the lost tribe of Israel. They spoke a language called Lashwan Kodash, which is Hebrew. Adair also was one of the series of writers who held similar views among Gregorio Garcia in his Origin de las Indias de la Nueve Muendos, right? Barcelona de las Casas, Thomas Thorogood in his League, Jews in America. This is the guy proved right here, the guy that put a book called Jews in America, proving the American Indian came in during time of Syrian captivity, and they spoke Hebrew. And there's so many proofs, man. We just proving that.
Yeah, but you're not understanding what.
Listen for a second. Listen, please. We just proved that the Indian kept all the evidence. They kept right. They kept the commandments, laws on adultery. All this is in the book. That
you know why? Kept. Do you know why they did that? Because
you got to say now the white man made this up. We got books on black.
No. Listen, what I'm saying. They converted to Judaism, and so then that white man that they was.
We did not say nothing about convert to Judaism because
but you got to. I know, but you reading that book as if that's the Torah. That ain't the Torah. That ain't 100% law. You got to understand. Man, can y'all respond though?
Listen, how you gonna have a debate?
You ain't gonna let me respond to it.
It's going back to the Torah, man.
Can't do it.
Listen, bro. That book you just read from, is that the Torah?
Then prove us wrong with the Torah. Prove us wrong with the Torah.
Okay, I'm about to. We lost our books We lost our inheritance.
That's not
Hold
good.
on.
Go
Let
to a
me
specific
finish.
chapter and verse
Hold
in
on,
the
I can't
Torah
give you.
and
Listen,
prove it.
okay.
Don't
When it come to my mind, I give it to you. But let me paraphrase right now.
come
Brother,
on. You
let
don't
me
got nothing
finish,
to your
man. Just
mind.
be
You've been saying
quiet
this
for a minute. Let me
for
explain then.
months.
Man.
Let me explain
You've been
then.
doing this since the first day you
You
got
don't
on.
want me to explain because you
Yeah,
know
come
it's the
on, man.
truth.
You
That's
don't, come on.
why.
It's not the truth, man.
It
It's not
is.
the
Let me say
truth.
what I'm about to say.
No, give us a book,
Listen,
a
listen. Be,
chapter,
be
and a
quiet for
verse,
a minute, man.
Give
Esau
us a
took control
chapter
of
and
our
verse.
inheritance, right? You gonna let me finish? Just let me say what I got to say. If you don't like it, then just dispute it. That's fine. Esau took control of our records and our inheritance, which means,
So how we know
let
we
me
Israelites
finish.
then?
So
How we
they
know
are
we
the
Israelites?
ones. They got into our land. They got into our inheritance. They took on what they pretend to take on our original God-given customs and laws, and they went around the world converting all these nations under the authority of under the name under Judaism, the modern day Judaism that we know of today. And they came over here to the Americas and did the same thing. And then when these people converted, then they would call them Jews or Israelites, like they doing now. You just don't understand what you're reading.
No, you don't understand what's coming out.
You sound
You
crazy.
don't understand
A
what's
real
coming out.
comedian, man, for real. Brother said,
No,
you
I
know
got
what?
more authority. I got more authority on this information than what you got. You got
Nah.
counterfeit.
You ain't pull up nothing. You just been talking. You ain't even pull up a scripture. You can't. And since we've met you, you have never pulled out
Did I
one
lie about?
scripture. Not one. I think one time you was trying to pull something in the in the law, and we was
Bro,
on our way closing out.
you
You
know,
understand?
because y'all ain't
Not
listening.
once
You're not
have you.
listening. I don't have my books. I'm up here. At work. I'm working with my hands, talking to y'all, man. I don't
Next
have my.
time, bring your books. Bring your books. We're
No,
ready.
no, no, no. Well, no, this is what it is. See, this is what it is. You don't want to accept the Torah as the truth. You want to go to some counterfeit some Jewish information that's contrary to the Torah and the Tanakh.
So the information is false. Are you saying the
Everything
information
I'm
is
saying,
false?
this is what I'm saying. You're not writing those books.
Is the information
Listen,
false?
I'm saying the Esau. How long has Esau been in control over our inheritance for over 2,000 years? Y'all weren't teaching nobody nothing when
So
it
let's
comes to
just
being a Hebrew.
so
So
let's
when
just
you came, when
bot.
they came, hold on, listen. So when they came over here amongst these Native Americans, that was not you doing that. You
All
was
right,
not
listen,
teaching.
listen, listen.
Hold on.
No,
They
listen,
can.
listen. Because
The Native Americans
the elder
converted.
just brought out 3 books with proof showing you the Native Americans are Israelites, right?
Yes, based
So
upon
so
conversion.
wait.
Based on conversion.
No, you cannot.
Listen, you gotta listen.
Based on
Hear him out.
conversion, bro.
Basically, you saying
Hold
that
up,
these
brother.
books are contrary to the Torah and the Tanakh. That's what you keep saying. You keep
I'm
going
saying
back to that.
somebody.
So
No.
if Esau had all of this power, as you say he does, he took our heritage, our culture, all that stuff. He took it. He hid it. So by your logic, how do we know, which we know, but how do you know that what you're reading in the Torah is explaining you and telling you the truth? If by books,
Mhm.
Esau done messed in the history and turned books around and wording and all this. By your logic, how do you know what you're reading in the Torah is true?
Okay, well, the Torah tells you specifically that the law is perfect and that it converts the soul and that the commandments of the Most High is perfect and pure and true. So the Most High's history is true. Now,
So
what you just read, that's not the Torah, nor the Tanakh, nor the prophets. So that's subjective and very that's in limbo. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take that, get the truth out of it if there's any truth in it, and then you got to decipher what's in there accurate and what's not in there accurate.
so was
When
Esdras?
the Europeans came over here, if there were any Jews or Israelites over here, they were converted. That was heathens who converted to that Judaism. That's what that was. Yes, that's what that was. Cause see,
So who converted them?
again, before some of the other Europeans came over here, there were other people. Esau, Edomites came over here, converted these people over to Judaism. And then when Christopher Columbus and them came over here, yeah, they found some people over here practicing or appear to be practicing some ancient Israelite customs and cultures and laws because they was converted to Judaism.
So let me understand this. So you had so-called Indians that came to this country before the white man got here. Earlier you said the white man was here, but before the white man got here, the white man comes over, shows the Indians the laws and commandments and the rituals of the actual ancient Israelites, which I don't know why they would do that according to you, but you said this has happened. And then now we seeing that these artifacts and languages and songs that relate to the Hebrews of our forefathers, we see that these customs was passed down from generation to generation, going back in time to the so-called Indians. And the current Indians, they have certain customs that relate to the Hebrew and our forefathers, as well as the artifacts that they have found in different parts of America, including Canada. You're saying that the white man started all this. I'm simply asking you, historically, where's the proof? Where's the proof that the white man was here before them? If the white man was not here before them and the Indians was here, where's the proof that the white man educated them in our laws and our customs? And what was the purpose of doing that? Earlier you said because he wanted to keep our nationality, the white man, that is. But can you show proof?
Yeah, it's proof in history. You're reading it, but you're not understanding. It's in those books that you're reading. All those books.
Come on.
If you read all those books that he done mentioned, it's in all those books, but it's in bits and pieces. And it just is. And then when you understand the Torah and you read those books, you'll be able to decipher the truth from the lie. Because see, it's not that. See, it was the Native Americans. It was here before the so-called Jewish people got over here. But when they came over here, they converted them. Some of them over, some of them. And then
show us the proof.
You're borging. We can't hear you, man. We can't hear you.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, did you? Okay, I'm gonna be out this area in a minute. 1 second. Okay, so again, the Native Americans, the real indigenous Aboriginal Americans, they were here. Can you hear that? They were already here. Esau came over here with his Judaism and converted some of them, right?
But show the proof.
Because he come to rule.
Where's the proof of that?
Okay, hold on. And then eventually, where's
the proof? That's you talking. Where is the proof?
Okay.
Google it. You can Google the proof, and I'll let you share it. Show us something.
I just
you
did.
Said you don't want to use the books.
He got the sources. The brother got the sources. He's just not interpreting.
Sources he got.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm answering you.
What you talking about?
Y'all impatient. You're not gonna learn like that because you're not patient.
No, you're not saying. You're just talking though. You're just talking.
No,
Show
I'm not.
Proof.
I'm just told you that it's in the books he just read.
Yes,
he just not.
Listen.
Let me finish.
I'll let you finish. I just want to know: do you have proof that you can share?
I just said yes. You're not listening. Yes, the proof, brother. I just said your brother got all the proof right there.
No.
Let me finish. Hold on.
Do you have?
Well, I ain't
proof?
gonna say he got all the proof, but he got a lot of the proof.
Do you have any proof?
Let me finish, brother. Yes, you can go. Yes, you can go on the internet and find this stuff out.
I'm not gonna go on anything. I want you to go and show your proof.
Let me finish. Yeah, when I have access to that information, I told you.
You don't have. Stop.
I'm
You're just
on
selling
a phone,
move tickets. You're selling
I'm
move
not
tickets.
sitting down comfortable. Listen, hold on. I'm not sitting down at home comfortably on a computer. I can't do that right now. Okay?
Why you can't do that?
You never.
Hold on. But let me just say this. Let me say this so it can be for the record. Then you'll know I said this. You won't come back and say I didn't say this. So a lot of the books that he's reading, that information is in there. He's just interpreting the information wrongly.
Listen, brother. I can almost guarantee you never read not one of them books that the elder just brought out.
And I can guarantee you ain't read some of the information I read. And some of the books that he read, actually, if you go, listen, again, you haven't read probably what I read, and you don't know what I know.
The only good thing is
you're not listening.
The only thing good thing is that people are being edified on the history of the natives, and we're just using you to expound on
bring it out.
The natives and Hispanics are that they're Israelites, and a lot of facts is coming out.
The Native Americans tell you themselves they not no Israelites.
And you Negroes,
crazy, man.
And you Negroes say the same thing.
You can talk to
but listen what I'm saying. The same way you said the natives will not accept that they're Israelites, you Negroes will do the same thing. Hispanics will do the same thing.
But it's not the same. Let me tell you why it's not the same.
Some of them do accept. Some of them do accept.
That's true. They may say the same thing.
I'm not going to talk over you. I'm not going to talk over you.
Y'all ain't listening.
Some of them
it's
do.
not the same though.
I gotta mute them again.
Hey, Bakwash. I just look up. I was gonna ask Yashua to do it also, but I just look up. Did the American Indian convert? Did the European try to convert the American Indian to Judaism? He said no. There's no facts on that history.
Exactly.
Of course, there's no facts. That don't even make any sense. It don't make no sense.
He sounds very stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because he's saying that a brother got what you forget about what the brother have. What about what you have? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Earlier, if he was in court, the judge would lock it behind him because you have no evidence to prove that he did not murder that man.
You clearly just asked him for him to show the proof. He's
right.
reverting to Lamar telling him, oh, he has the proof. No, you can go on Google and you can look. No, you do that. But I got one scripture for this dude.
Cool.
This is Hardrock chapter 22 and verse 13. Mm-hmm. This is what we should have been done. It says, talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that have no understanding, because this dude has no understanding. Every time we talk to this dude, he's doing something. He's on the move. I'm on my phone. I don't got time to sit down. So you ain't never sitting down? You ain't never got time to chill? You ain't never got time to get to a Bible? If you know you coming on here, we dealt with you at least 5-6 times already. And you mean to tell me not one of those instances did you ever have a Bible? Come on, man. You keep referring to the Tanakh and the Torah. Well, show us. Show us in the Torah. Show us in the Tanakh. Show us. So the Lord said, talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that have no understanding. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble, man. And it brings trouble to it vexes our spirit to deal with dudes like you, man, because you don't answer questions. You'll just give a whole damn paragraph on something we didn't ask you. This is all you do, man. This is all you've been doing. It says, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. Yeah, because we are defiling ourselves dealing with you this long, man. Because you're trying to put spirits on us, man. Right? It says, depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness, man. Because once we finish talking to you, we probably gonna wipe our foreheads like, man, I can't believe we dealt with this dude this long.
So you put out all the energy from us after dealing with
it. Hey, real quick, there's 17 people watching, man. Do me a really big favor. Can y'all just take the time, just hit that like button, man? It brings up the algorithms. We're a small channel trying to grow. Just please hit that like button, man, if you enjoy what you're watching, or you're getting edified rather on what you're watching, or dislike or comment. But 17 people there, please hit that like button, man. Yashua, whoever was speaking.
Yeah, you know how hard it is to deal with somebody that don't answer questions, that want to go over what you just asked them, go on to a whole nother topic after you ask them something. That can mess your mind up, man. If you deal with these type of dudes this long, man.
Yeah. I use them. I use them so the other brothers can understand, man. Because say bring out another book and bring out another slide. I use them behind. But anyway, we can move on to something else. We don't got much time. Somebody said Lamad Salakia. He says, what was I going to say? I'll while we go into other stories, I'll mute him in a little while if you want to flow along. I doubt it, but
Yeah, let's leave him like that. Joshua said, leave him alone.
okay.
Leave him alone. This guy, you put all the damn energy out of you, man. Like
Yeah,
you don't
Yeah.
you just brought out proof with 3 books, man. You talking about, oh, you don't know what I know. You don't know nothing, man. You don't know nothing. This is why we still don't know your point from all the talking you were saying. Oh, let me finish. All you want to do is finish talking. We're not in the talking all day, man.
Right. So we see what's happening. Y'all been following what's going on with Trump and Russia. Like we back on the World War III train again.
Man, there's so much going on. I couldn't even, man. I just be seeing a whole bunch of stuff, man. There's so much going on. You can't even keep up.
Yeah. Check this out real quick.
It's official. Ukraine now has the green light to strike inside Russia. Not just occupied Ukrainian territory, inside actual Russian territory. For Putin, this changes everything. On May 26th, Germany's new chancellor stood in front of the cameras and said it plainly. There are no longer any range restrictions. Wow. The US, UK, France, and Germany.
It took the gloves off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That means they can shoot drones and missiles deep into Russia now. And you know, Russia, that's going to anger them because Germany and a lot of European countries are backing this. So Russia has no choice but to attack either Europe or America. They always say they would attack Europe first, but we don't know. But the doors are opening again, man, and you know the heat is coming out through them doors, man. So we're gonna wait and see. Huh?
You was Yashon was gonna say something?
No.
Yeah, but you see what they're telling people that Germany and these countries, they you know about Ukraine. Ukraine is not behind that. Ukraine does number one. Ukraine doesn't have the technologies because in order to shoot those missiles, you have to have a satellite, a special technology up in space to do that. America is behind that, doing that in Germany.
Yeah.
All the stuff you see, they're saying Ukraine ain't got nothing to do with that. US is behind that doing it. But they have to use Ukraine as a scapegoat. But Russia, Putin knows America behind that.
Yeah.
That's why he's not listening. They say he don't. Trump is like, I don't know what happened to him. He just went crazy. He didn't go crazy. There's a lot of BS behind the scenes going on. He's saying to hell with it. And they were saying this could be turned into a bad thing. And one of the reps from Russia said the only bad thing that can come from this is World War III. So they're not backing down, man. They're not backing down. And the Most High, he's controlling all the chess pieces, man.
Yeah,
so
you're
we don't
right.
got no time for no foolishness. It's time to get into the Most High and walk spiritually, man. This is getting real now.
Yeah, but you're right on that though. It's not Ukraine, man. It's the U.S. backing them, giving them everything, and using them as the face of the attack. But it's really the U.S., man. The U.S. has been doing this. You do this with all these little countries that to go against these powers. These countries that actually have powers, which is Iran, China, and Russia, but all these other countries that got little, problems with those huge countries, the U.S. backs them.
Yeah, because I got a precept for you. Caution. Yeshua was brought up. Jeremiah chapter 50. Verse 45. I read.
Hey, Yashua, share your screen on the scriptures. Keep the scriptures flowing. I got to step away, right?
Okay, come on.
Yeah, Jeremiah 50, 45.
Let me know when you get it up.
All right. All right, I got it up.
All right, use that to edify everybody. Use it.
Come on. You said Jeremiah 50
and 35.
You said Jeremiah 50 and 5?
Yeah, 50 and 45, yeah.
Oh, 45. Come on.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 50, 45, and it reads, Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh, that he have taken against Babylon.
Which we know is America, because not no ancient Babylon. We know this is America right here.
Gone. And his purposes, that he had proposed against the land of the Chaldeans.
which is America, because we know what the Chaldean, the ancient Chaldean were famous for. Okay, go ahead.
God, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
So the least of the flock, we know it's talking about Esau.
That's right.
Draw them out means the other nation to the Third World War.
That's right.
Okay, so once they start attacking, the attack in Ukraine is the whole thing is gonna lead into the Middle East and all the other nations. Every nation is going to draw the war into known as the Battle of Jehoshaphat. So the least of the flock is the so-called white man known as Esau. So when you look at the word, the least being the lowest of the flock, meaning the lowest of all nation. That's what the least of the flock represent. Esau is the lowest of all nation. All right, go ahead.
God, and that's going into Israel, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fake people of the land, you know.
Right. Good.
So that's what that's going into too.
Right.
It says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them.
Mm-hmm. Mean the land is gonna be destroyed. The land and them is gonna be destroyed because of what? Of all the evil they've been doing on the planet Earth. Okay. Sorry.
At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved.
Right, see? The noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved. So we know this not talking about ancient Babylon. We know it's talking about modern day America. How does the earth is it moved? To what? To the nuclear bomb that's going to drop on it. And it's not literally talking about the earth. Because the Moses said the earth has to bite forever, stand forever. We talk about the nation. It's going to be removed from what? From the space of rulerships. Okay? So when the Bible talks about earth, it's not literally talking about earth being moved. No, this earth is not going to shake. It's talking about the bombs that might drop on these nations, man. Right. They got to be removed from the space of rulership. Go ahead.
God. It says, and the cry is heard among the nations. And
the cry is what? What is the cry? The war and so forth. The bombs, all the missiles dropping and so forth. You see? So the Most High said the earth is going to be moved, man, because the Most High is sick and tired of what's going on. And the Most High is preparing these nations to start this war in the last days. Okay? Known as Babylon. So when you look at the history of ancient Babylon, never way in history these things ever happened. No, you can't find no record on that. No history book, none of that. What we know is this is talk about America when you read the history. Okay? Now, there's another one. Give me Jeremiah 51:1 for a second.
Jeremiah 51.
Yeah, 51 verse 1. So when you read about the fall of ancient Babylon, let me see. Matter of fact, you know what happened up? Is the same Jeremiah 50. I missed that verse while we're looking for Jeremiah 50 and 34. Jeremiah 50 verse 34. 35. That's what I want. 50 and 35.
Jeremiah 50:35. It said, yeah. A sword is upon the Chaldeans,
which is America. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And upon the inhabitants of Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
And upon her princes.
And her princes being all official. Those men, they call the princes. Go ahead.
And upon her wise men.
Oh, wise men. Those men that claim to have wisdom. So when they see these chaos happen to them, they ain't gonna be able to stop this thing, man. The same thing when the Chaldean, where the Most High was about to destroy ancient Babylon, which is, not ancient, Neo-Babylon, during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, they were going to the wise men to see to figure out how to interpret the writing that's on the wall. Because what's your name, Nebuchadnezzar, kingdom is about to fall. So those wise men, we use it linked up today, is the same thing America gonna do, trying to figure out how to stop this judgment the Most High gonna bring on them in the last days. Okay, verse 36.
Verse 36, it said, a sword is upon the liars.
The liars. When the Bible says the liars, mean all the false prophets and so forth. All those false prophets. That's it. That's who the liars. And also, let's give another precept, a good precept when the Bible says a sword is upon the liars. Let's get 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 20. Those that claim to have wisdom, the Most High call them liars and so forth. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 20.
1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 20, it says, where is the wise?
The wise, those are the liars. Go ahead.
Where is the scribe?
The scribes. Go ahead.
Where is the disputer of this world? Have not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world?
Right, so the wisdom of this world is foolish. It's nothing. The technology that Esau came out with, that's nothing. But listen, technology, let's go back to Jeremiah 15:36 now. Technology has been here for ages, but it just that was in its element state. Esau just released it from the element state. That's all. Technology has been here for thousands of years, hundreds of years. You see what I'm saying? The Egyptians, they know about helicopters and so forth. There is archaeology evidence proving the Egyptians, they wrote helicopter on the wall. It's just Esau just released it from the elements. Everything was already here.
Yep.
Okay. 50:36 now.
Jeremiah 50:36 again. It says, a sword is upon the liars.
So the liars mean all those false prophets, all those claim to have wisdom, those are known as the liar. Go ahead.
And they that dote. A sword is upon her mighty men.
All the soldiers and so forth. Go ahead.
And they shall be dismayed.
And a lot of soldiers, they're not going to be fighting. They're not going to be joining this war because what's going to happen, they're going to find out the men are going to be destroyed. And they're going to run for what? For what? For safety. A lot of men is not going to be joining the service, man. When they see all the nation, like they're like a rough caterpillar, man.
Yep.
The Moses said he's going to call all the rough caterpillar of the earth to come against Babylon. A swarm of nation like locusts is going to come up in America in the last days, man. Okay, verse 37.
A sword is upon their horses.
The horses mean they're military.
That's right.
And who is the sword? The other nation. So the Bible says a sword means the other nation is upon the horse mean they're military. Okay, go ahead.
And upon their chariots.
Their chariot mean what? The Most High is going to destroy all the cars and so forth. You know, all the cars you see in America, the Most High call it a chariot. When you read Revelation chapter 18, verse 13. A lot of the chariot, a lot of the cars is not going to be selling as before. Ford, F-150, all these cars, the Most High says he's going to bring a sword upon these chariots, man. It's going to be destroyed. Okay? That's why you see a lot of these companies closing down. Ford is closing down. Dodge, a lot of those company factories closing down because guess what? The Most High says his sword is upon a chariot, man. A lot of these cars are not going to be selling as before. You can read that in the book of Revelation chapter 18, verse 13. Matter of fact, let's get it up. Revelation 18:13.
Revelation
18 and 13.
Chapter 18 and verse 13.
13, yeah.
It says, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense
Right.
and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves.
Vehicles. When you look at the word chariot, it means vehicles. Go ahead.
And slaves and souls of men.
Mm-hmm.
And the fruit that thy soul lusteth after are departed from thee.
See, all these things Esau lusted after are departed from thee. So all these things in the last days is going to be what? Total diminish.
Yeah, you can see it now.
Come.
You can see it, man. Everything is closing down everywhere you look. It's a spot closing down, man. Like we brought it out a couple of weeks back. That Macy's, man. I never thought Macy's had closed down. You know, these stores been here for ages.
Exactly.
They've been here for a long time, man, and they closing down.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You got these restaurants closing down, like, you know, every day, man. I was just looking at a video where they said, what was it? Was it one of the banks? They closing down all their locations.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot what bank it is.
I knew you talk about. I can't remember the bank. A lot of banks is closing down.
Yeah, man.
Because Chase Manhattan Bank, they closing on a lot of branches and so forth.
Yeah. So this place is shrinking, man, and it's glory. so to
Yep.
speak. It's shrinking, man. And the things that people have come accustomed to and that's convenient to make their lives convenient, man, is leaving them. This is why people are lashing out now.
Yep.
This is why everybody, you know, they stressed out, they depressed, they ready to fight, to hurt somebody.
Yep.
You know, you still got these idiots still trying to get up in college and think they're gonna make a life for themselves in this country, man. This country is you're not gonna make a life here, man.
Trump is coming for them, the whole student loan right now.
Yeah.
In a minute, you could be seeing collection on your paycheck, because remember, Barack Obama is the one that stopped the collection. Trump is about to reverse that.
Yeah.
He said it last week that he's about to reverse the collection, because back in the days, I was one of them. You know, when that store that used to, I think A&S.
Okay.
I was happy the damn store closed down, man, because I owed them money. Brother, 7 years later, man, I see my check. I'm like, what the hell? How the hell my check so small? Come to find out I was in collection, $10,000 collection.
Wow.
And all I owed them was $2,000. So Obama is about to reverse that. I mean, reverse the Obama, check, what do they call it? I can't remember what they call it. When they pull it.
The student debt, student loan?
It's student loan debt. If you hold student loan on other things, I can't remember what they call it. It's called collection, but there's another name that they could send that information to your job, and they could start taking money. Huh?
Oh yeah, you talking about they garnish your check.
You want to cut garnishment? Because I had 2 done back in the 90s.
You know how people gonna be if that start happening, man.
Exactly.
Man, listen, you work hard all week, and however you get paid, and you see your check, man, and they taking, and Esau not playing, man. He'll take 3/4 of your check, man.
Yeah.
And tell you hey, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah, like the brother said, garnishing wages, cut. Yeah,
garnish your wages.
Yeah, they got me on A&S, and they got me on flipping. You remember Seaman Furniture?
Oh yeah, Seaman. Yeah, I remember that.
Got 3. Radio Shack also. They all 3 of them bastards got me, man. I was happy with that. I'm like, good. I was paying my time. Start seeing my check garnishing, man. I was like, man, I was pissed off. Imagine they money coming out your check every week.
Yeah, man.
But Trump is about to bring that back.
Yeah, and a lot of these government federal funded programs is getting cut too, like Section 8. Food stamps.
That's gone.
Yeah, Section 8 food stamps. You know, I know a lot of brothers, they can't wait for that Title 4D, which is, AKA child support. I can't wait to that's cut, because these women, man, I was looking at I think McQuash had it up, where over 106,000 women. Yeah, it was last week. 106,000 women, Black women, have lost their jobs, man. So, a lot of the benefits that these women have been getting over here in the West, hey, it's about to be done away with.
It's a lot of things about to stop, man. If you borrow a student loan, you have to pay your loan back.
Yeah, and you know how much people be owing in student loans?
Man.
50, 60, 70, 80, over $100,000. They done did what, 4 years? Some of them went back to school 6 years, 8 years. All that money done accumulated, and then here go Nero. He dipping in your check, man. You got the best job in the world after you after you graduated. You got the job, your dream job. And now your check getting sliced.
And it's not that they owed all that money. It's just that these demons, these devils, is the one is what caused it to owe all the money is the interest rate that's accumulated.
Yeah.
They have this doctor. I can't remember this doctor's name. She's a brain surgeon. She over $285,000 in student loan, brother. A majority of it are interest. And she don't know how to pay back. She don't have the money to pay back. Because certain states, you know what I'm saying? They don't get that much payment pay as being as being a doctor like you in New York or California. She hold a lot of money in student loan, huh?
Wow.
You know, and she can't pay back because she can't afford her own. She can't pay a mortgage and student loan at the same time.
That's crazy.
So a lot of time these people owe student loan is because of the interest rate that accumulated. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you own a house. Well, you don't own a house. You just lease the property. You have to pay mortgage, and once you finish paying on the mortgage, you're still paying. You are paying interest rate and the mortgage at the same time. You're paying on the damn house, and which not belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody owns it in America. You just you just lease the property from the government because the government is the landowner after the land, owner of the land. The landlord owner of the land. So nobody owns anything in America.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care how much you're rich, you don't own nothing.
Yeah, and same with a car. Same thing with a car, man. You got to go to the bank unless you got money like that to pay the car off. But you're still paying even after you pay the car off, man, because you can't drive that car without car insurance.
Yep.
And then you got to get it checked out every year, and you got to renew your tags, whatever. It's constantly draining, man. This place is constantly draining you every single day, man. And people want to live in denial and say that, I ain't no slave, Jake, I ain't no slave, I go to work, I make my money, you know what I'm saying? I party, I do this, I do that, but you're still a slave.
Yep. Once you borrow student loan, you're still a slave, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that student loan, man, that's because I always, even when I was in high school and all that, I always had it in my mind, not to go to college for a certain reason. People, even though people was telling me, you make a better life for yourself, make more money. But nowadays, it's who you know, not what you know. So you got brothers that never went to college that make more money than people that go to college.
Yep.
Even, I say 30 years ago, you can 30, 40 years ago, you can go to college and make something of yourself and you probably benefit from it now. But you still have to pay something back.
That's it.
I never understood. Now I understand, but at the time I didn't understand why they would push you to go to college, push you.
Yeah.
Like if you signed up online or something saying you wanted to go to college, they'll call you right away. Yeah, you want to get back into school? Yeah, we can get you back in school, set you up in financial aid and this and that. And I always felt like something was up with it because I'm like, man, since when these devils even want you to better your life like that?
Yeah, go to college and then when you're in college, guess what happened? Here come American Express. They want to give you a credit card.
Yeah,
they want to make sure they put you in debt before you even graduate from college. Because when I graduated from Baruch, they gave me some credit card from Citibank.
Yeah, and
I took it up and I maxed that sucker out and said, listen, I didn't sign up for no credit card. That's not my future. That's how I'll get away with it. But they make sure they put you in. They make sure they give you every student a credit card that started college to make sure they put you in debt before you graduate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But, I have a precept for you. Give me two scriptures. Is Isaiah, brother, Isaiah 32:9. But first, give me Proverbs 22:7. Because a lot of times we're seeing people with these brand new cars and so forth. 99% of the time they don't have not 90% of the time, but 65% of the time. They do not have the cash to buy a brand new Range Rover or that car. I don't care what kind of car you have. Because who have $55,000 right now as a poor people to buy a brand new car right now in cash? You live on credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which we know that's not real money.
And that's a scam too.
Huh?
That's a scam too. This whole credit system, that's a scam too.
Big scam. Big scam. Because that's not even real money. Real money, that's diamonds and gold and so forth. Now the Florida governor passed the law now that you could buy stuff with diamond and gold in Florida right now if you have the diamond and gold. You just pass it because they're going back to the real money. That paper dollar came from ancient China, which is not even real money anyway. It's nothing to back it up but debt.
Yep.
So I would always advise people start getting to silver and gold, man, because this coming, man. It might sound like bull crap, but they are totally little by little diminishing the paper dollar.
Yep.
So if you might have $200,000 in your account, by the time they come with the real money, that $200 gotta be like about $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So I advise people to buy silver and gold, man.
Yep.
You know, it might sound like that ain't gonna happen, but it's gonna happen because
I heard it. Yeah.
there's nothing to back it up. It's just like, for instance, when you go out there, you buy grocery. You might buy, I don't eat canned food, but people out there that's ignorant buy the canned food. You buy canned food like salt, mackerel in a damn can for $2 and change. Next month is $6. It's not the price is going up. It's because the money, American money, does not have any value whatsoever. Value. Yep. America, you go to Germany with American dollar, they're gonna look at you like you're stupid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It may value something in the Caribbean, but when it comes to those other countries, it doesn't value nothing, man. It doesn't mean nothing.
A lot of these countries, they're not even dealing with the American dollar no more.
Yeah, it's called a petrodollar. Petrodollar, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Proverbs 22:7.
Yeah.
It says, "The rich ruleth over the poor,
Mm-hmm.
and the borrower is servant to the lender."
You become a slave when you have to borrow money. You're a slave to the lender because you have to pay back interest, and that interest that you pay, that you give to the, for instance, you might borrow $10,000 from Citibank, right? And they're gonna charge you interest rate, according to your credit score, right? Which is another scam. No, your credit score, no, they go by your they go by your score from what you call it, good credit star one from 700.
Yeah.
From 700 starts.
I think like the upper 60s, 600s.
That's a fair credit. That's fair.
Like 690, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So 670 and up, let's consider supposed to be good credit, right? If I'm not mistaken. But no, below 670 is called fair credit. Yeah. So now you might borrow some money from Citibank for $10,000. By the time you pay our Citibank, you owe a lot of money. That interest rate that they charge you goes straight directly to Wall Street, and they make billions of dollars on your $5 that they charge you on your interest rate. They charge you for on the top of the $10,000. Mm-hmm. That's how much they charge you. That's why they don't like when you pay off the money too fast, because they're not making no money. You see what I'm saying? They don't like you when you pay off all that money.
Yep.
You see?
That's why they want it in installments. They make more money.
Yeah, exactly. You see?
I got one. I got one. Same chapter. Mm-hmm. Proverbs 22. Mm-hmm. And verse 16.
Right.
It says, "He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches." Mm-hmm. That's what this devil does, man.
Yeah.
You know, he wanna capitalize off of you being poor, man. He know so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans ain't got no money like that.
Right,
so he gonna give you this credit scam to say, hey, well, you don't need money if your credit score is this high.
Right.
You know, you can get up, you can, like a car. Oh, if your credit score is 750, you can pretty much leave here whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, but it's always a trick to it. With this devil. Always a trick, man.
Right.
It says, "He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich," because that's how the rich stay rich and give to the rich.
Yes, sir. Yep.
They up top, they dangling the money, and they saying, okay, I'm gonna give him 50, but he gonna pay me back 100. Mm-hmm. And we stay rich, man. We double our money. You know, it says, "He that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want." That's going to be the end game with Esau Edom. Yeah, but this man has set up laws and unrighteous decrees against the poor, which are the Israelites, to increase his wealth, man. And this man is beyond wealthy, man. Jake, you think you got some money, or you think you got some wealth? Esau Edom got the wealth, man. He was given the fatness of the earth.
Yeah.
It's certain places that Esau lived that you will never see one of you Negroes, man, or Latinos, man, if you're not working in their house.
Right.
And after that, you got to get out.
Yep.
You know,
That
so,
insurance, that insurance you said earlier is a big scam. Car insurance is a scam.
yeah.
But imagine you never you okay. Imagine you might have a brand new car, right? And sometimes it depends on the color of the car. Also, if you have a pearl white car, it's more money. You have a pearl white car is more money. You have a sport color car is more money, especially yellow or whatever color. It's one sport color is more money. So they're gonna charge you for insurance now. And if you have a car for 20 years and you sold the car, you never have an accident. What happened to all that money you've been spending on the car every month? $450 a month car insurance. If you calculate 450 by 12, that's a lot of money right there. You see what I'm saying? And then you never have an accident, and you've been paying that same car insurance for almost 20 years. You lost all that money. What happened to that money?
Yeah.
It's a scam.
Yeah, man.
You see what I'm saying? Big scam, man.
Yeah,
rent. So I just look at you like an idiot, man.
Yep. Same thing with rent, man. Rent is a scam too.
Yeah.
Everything is always going up. Everything goes up. Everything. You know, they'll do something because this happened to me. You know, they have brackets for the rent. Like if you make this much, then you got to pay this much. So let's just say you and your wife or whatever. Let's just say between both of y'all accumulate $150,000. So they'll set y'all rent for that. So let's just say y'all paying every month $3,500 for a 2-bedroom or whatever. $4,000 for a 2-bedroom. Let's just say your wife lose her job.
Right.
You know this devil would not bring your rent down. He'll say you're still in the bracket. But when you first got the apartment, they went according to both of y'all incomes.
Yes, sir.
But now one income is gone, he'll keep your rent the same and say, well, you know, you make more money now. You made more money than you did last year. You're still in the bracket.
Exactly.
So this is how this devil gets you, man.
And it's never gonna stop. It's just like, for instance, you have like you make so much money than your wife. Now your wife died. Now you cannot get your wife whatever they call it, pension, whatever they call it. I don't remember.
You make more. Yeah.
Right? That money goes directly back to the city or state.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or the government, whoever you work for. They're stealing money. So you are supposed to be getting your wife money. But the government said, no, you can't get it because you make too much money.
Yeah.
So they want to keep it at a bracket, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when you supposed to time for you get, for instance, you're supposed to get your pension from your wife pension. Your wife pension go back to the controller that control the pension.
Yep.
It's to show you the whole thing is a scam, man. Freaking scam, man. You know, and people thinking that this is something that they live in you know, people need to understand they live in a fantasy world, man. This is not no real world, man.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like in a Wonderland world. It's not a fantasy world, because this guy is nothing but a thief.
Yeah. Yep. What they say, the thief cometh not but for to steal, to kill, and destroy, man. And that's all he's doing, man. He's destroying everybody. You know, the Israelites been destroyed, you know, but he wants you to stay dumb, deaf, blind, so that way he can continue to use you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But you have a lot of people that's waking up to this system now, man. And saying that this system is corrupt. This system is nothing but a thief. It just takes. It don't give nothing, and people are starting to get fed up with it, man.
Yeah. Well, the system is called a system of oppression, man.
Yeah.
When we read the other day, man, most I tell you, man, you know, the people they're gonna still revolt against the system, man, because people get. They have a guy at my job, man. Brother is a Judah. He said, man, I'm so freaking tired of this damn job. He said, slavery, man, parking these buses every freaking day. I can't. Jake is tired, man. So, you know, I mean, if Jake is tired, and you know, imagine us, huh? Come on, you know what I mean? Jake is man, this damn shit, parking these damn every freaking day, man. But it's just frustrated, man, because you know, most I call America the high-end furnace, man, because this is nothing but a hardcore. I mean, all the captivity we've been in. We went to every captivity on all nation. This is the worst captivity ever.
Yeah.
Job, man. You know, imagine you're driving every day. I could get out these buses, man. You can hardly walk. You know, you're tired. Your blood pressure is all up. You know, you're sick. You're dizzy. You know, you get stressed out. You know, and you get paid. Here come the damn bill ready for you. You know.
Yep.
You
Right
can't
there.
save the money. Your daughter needs some clothes. It's like you have to, you know, the scripture say you gotta eat food by measure.
Yeah.
You know, you can't save. You know that favorite scripture, hey guy, 106, get it for me for a second.
Yep.
Your work, man. You can't save nothing, man. You try to save something, you got to cut out something just to save something, and you know, it's God, man.
And not even considering all the things that pop up.
Right.
You know, your everyday life things pop up, man. Something break down, you got to pay extra money, and you know, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, and you know, you're not bringing the money in the house as before, man. And then you have a wife, she have no understanding. She just looking for your pocket, and when that damn that money ain't coming, like they say, the Benjamin ain't coming. You know, she gotta pay attention to the other man. You know what I'm saying? You got women like that, man.
Yeah.
Ain't not being the money no more. Why go on, Sean? Why want a job? Why go on? The money not come no more. You know?
Oh, God,
Doing things. I mean, it's crazy, man. Money, financial breaks up a lot of relationship. Wife, a good mind, a good brains, a good, you know, a good what do they call it?
She has good morals. She got good morals.
Good moral, you know. Then she got to break away, man. Because remember, she's the wife. She's a weaker vessel, and she don't. She have no understanding, man. She just gonna like, yo, I'm out, you know.
Yeah.
Because at that time, COVID, a lot of relationships got broken up during the time of COVID. Because the money wasn't coming in. And then you two end up in a damn shelter. You know what I'm saying? That's a miserable life.
Yeah.
I remember a sister told me, this Judah sister said, before she become homeless in America, she'd rather go to another country. You understand that? It's a miserable life in this place, man. You're damn homeless, man. Shit.
Con.
You know?
This is this is Haggai 1:6. It says, "Ye have sown much, and bring in little."
Right. So you so much mean you work so hard. You work a 9 to 5, then you have you went to have another job after 9 to 5. You have another job. A lot of people that's into CNA nursing or PCA, patient care assistant. A lot of them have 2 jobs just to make it to finish their nursing school. You know what I'm saying? Some of them end up with high blood pressure. Some of them end up with depression, dementia, because they're so stressed out. And when you put a lot of stress in your brains, man, is a hard work for the brain to think. It's like, for instance, you have all this app open up on a computer, right? The computer is gonna move slow because you have not closed up all the rest of the app. You know what I'm saying? So now the computer is wondering, God damn, it's too much machine, it's too much app open up. That's the same thing with your brains. You're not thinking straight. So by you not thinking straight now, what's gonna happen now? You're gonna end up with blood pressure problem. You're gonna end up with all kind of sickness. You know what I'm saying? Now because your mind is not stable. That's the same way as working on this job, man. You can't think properly. You're miserable, you know. And because you have to work all these hours, you can't sleep properly, and your mind is so diminished, like so foggy. You can't think straight. That's the same thing, man. When you have to go to these hard oppression jobs in America, it's sad.
It feels like your mind is racing to where you can't focus on one thing. It's so much going on, and then the Lord got the days sped up. So you think about something, and the day is over. Now you gotta, you gotta pretty much force yourself to go to sleep to wake up, and then you struggling getting up. Then your body aching when you get up, and then it seems like you at work more than anything nowadays.
It's called the word I was looking for the brains is it's called cognitive overload.
When
the brain is overworked or under strain, it can lead to this thing called condition called cognitive overload. I think it's COGNITIV. Cognitive overload. Mean burnout and mental exhaustion, fog. which manifests into all kind of behavior sickness, man. You see?
Yeah, Con. That's why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you know, we'll speak on things that you should do in
Right.
order to kind of release yourself from all of this madness that's out here, man. You know, go on a trip or find something to do that eases your mind, and, you know, and just, you know, try to do it as much as you can.
Yeah.
You got to get away. You got to have an escape. You got to have an escape, man. Because if you constantly just working and working and working, and you know, it's gonna break you down. You're gonna, you know, you got people that's dying out here that's young, you know, because they work so goddamn much, man.
Yep. And when your brain become cognitive, that means later on your brain is become overloaded with it could lead to, like, when processing information become challenging, like burnout, man, feeling negativity, difficulty, concentration, and it reduces thing called performance, mental exhaustion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what it
Right.
does, you know?
Going.
You're tired, man. 'Cause I've been through that many times, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes they be like, yo, you all right?
Yeah, you know,
bugged out, you know what I mean?
yeah, man, yeah. Your mind is somewhere else. Like you there in the flesh, but your spirit ain't there, man.
It's
You
pretty
just
not, yeah.
somewhere else, man.
And if you look up when it comes to these things, America is the #1 country in the world when it comes to cognitive overload.
Yeah, they lead,
They lead, man, to everything. Wickedness, everything, working hard. I mean, they say American people work more harder than any other country in the world. Because in Russia, when you become age 50, you can retire. In America, the wicked abomination, Obama pushed it to, I think, age 6 or 7 or something, if I'm not mistaken.
63, I believe, 64, and they had
it's 63 way after that. 67, I think.
Oh, it went up?
Yeah, because now it's 65, but before it was 65. But let's look up what's the retirement age. Let me see. I don't too good at this Google thing, but look up.
Come on, let me get it real quick.
What's the retirement age
in America?
I think it's 67, 65. One of those, but I know it's past 65 because Obama pushed it to 66. It was 65 when doing to Obama. Then he pushed it to 66 or 67. I'm not returning.
Oh, yeah. Wow, it's 67. Yeah, 67.
Right? Yeah, that's wicked. They want for you to die so you don't get no damn pension.
Yeah, that's crazy,
they
man.
Push it at 3 more years, I guarantee.
How the hell are you supposed to enjoy your retirement at 65, man?
Yep.
You know, you got your bones hurting. You know, if you make it to 65, man, because the way people work, like I said, man, they're not seeing half of that. 40, they dying, man.
Yep.
45, they dying. 50, they dying. And that's what this devil is counting on. He's counting on you to die, man.
Yep.
That's what he wants. He don't want you to enjoy your life, man. Life, this is not living, man. This is not living. You know, and that's what the Lord said. Let me get this real quick, and we go back to Haggai. This is lucky I had it. Let's go back. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." This is not our rest. Right? This is not our rest, man. You don't have rest here.
Right.
You know? It said, because it is polluted, this place is polluted, man. Like the elder just said, and everything. Wickedness, you know, the way people work, you know, the way people think is all wicked, man. It's surrounded by wickedness and evil. It says, it shall destroy you, and it has been. It's destroying people, and it has destroyed many people.
Right.
Right? It says, even with a sore destruction, man. Right? It's going to be a ongoing, you know, destruction. It's going to be, your life is going to be hell. Yeah. Pretty much. And this is why, you know, it goes back to the curses. And when you read Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64, I'm gonna start at. It says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people," meaning these other nations, "from one end of the earth even unto the other." So wherever Israelites dwell, they catching hell. Wherever they at, man, whatever nation they under, they catching hell, man.
Yep.
It might be a little lighter than the next place, but they still catching hell. It says, "And there shall thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So our people would be into every type of religion. They would say that they're 3 different nationalities. They'll say they're 3 different religions. Our people are bugged out.
Yep.
Verse 65, it says, "And among these nations that you will be scattered at, shall thou find no ease."
Right.
You're not going to have no ease here, man.
Yep.
It says, "Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest." You're going to be constantly on the move, working, feet, knees, back hurting, right? You're not going to have no rest and no ease. It says, "Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart," man. Scared, man. You don't know if it's going to be your last day. You getting headaches all the time, having chest pains, you passing out. Your joints is jamming up. Everything happening to you. So you're not knowing. You're like, damn, why I'm always tired. I got 8 hours of sleep. I'm still tired.
Yep.
So it says,
they're restless.
yeah. It says, "And failing of eyes and the sorrow of mind," man. So you're gonna have all these things here in the land of your enemy, man. So going back to what that dude said, yeah, the Lord give Israel America. We know this. The Lord said that this would not be our rest. We wasn't gonna find no ease here. We know this. So this is what the Lord telling us, man. This is why you got to come out of this place spiritually, man. And trust me, like every brother would say the same thing. If it wasn't for this truth, man, we would be finished, man. Completely finished. We would have gave up a long time ago.
The word is the one that keep us, pulling up the burden from our own neck.
Exactly.
This is a system of oppression is really tiring, man.
Yeah, gone.
Makes you miserable and stuff,
Gone. So going back to Haggai 1:6, it says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little."
Yep. You work hard, all this 9-to-5 job. Then after your first 9-to-5 job, you're going back to another job. And you only have 1 day in the week. 1 day in the week. You're off. That's crazy, man.
That's right. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And man, that's for 4 days a week, that's enough. The rest of the week, so half at least Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then this first, but damn, it's like it's hard because you have to think about all these bills you have, and so forth. You got to pay the rent. I mean, a person that buying a house right now for $900,000, you'll be a dumb fool to buy a house for $900,000, and you have to pay $4,000 a month rent. Long that thing gonna take years to pay off, huh? And when your job dead, your family member have to continue the payment, or he's going to take the house away from you. You're stupid.
They rob you.
Doing that stupidness, buying a house for $900,000, I call American dream. You're a damn fool.
Yep. They rob you through the interest they make. They make they're killing the interest. And it's so bad that when you retire, people got to go back to work. They got to go back to work, man.
That's right. Yep.
You're going to die working the rest of your life, some people, man.
Yeah.
Gone. Yep. Gone.
I see that, man. Damn shit.
Gone. It says, "Ye eat, but ye have not enough."
And that is called food. When you don't eat too much, eat too little, it's called it's a word I'm looking for. We just talked about it earlier. Eating food by measure. You got 5 children, and you tell them, "Listen, Susan, you can't drink up all the juice because we got for Sandra. She needs some." You have to eat food by measure. You can't eat too. You know what I'm saying? You have you can't make too much dumpling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too much chicken because you gotta leave something for the next day. It's sad, man. And when you finish and knock on Tom door for some for a little damn a little flower, it's sad, man. That's not a good life at all, man. Because Esau take away everything that we used to consume and so forth. We used to have our own land. You know what I mean? We used to have everything for ourselves. We could go across the street and say, you know what, man, I'm gonna go to the water and then, you know, pull some fish from out the water. You can't do that no more. You have to, you know, where I live in Mill Basin, you gotta go way out in Emmett Avenue to get fish, and you can't fish there no more because Esau gonna give a ticket.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta buy the fish from the damn fisherman every Wednesday. So it's a curse, man. You gotta buy these things from your enemies. You know, now in Canarsie, they're telling you, well, if you go fishing, you gotta do it at a time in the night because they allow the park police, they're allowed to give you a ticket now.
You can't fish in Canarsie on the pier anymore?
Not daytime. They're gonna give you a ticket. Cause my uncle used to go there every day. Now he can't do that no more. He retired.
Damn, this devil make it hard, man. This devil ways is rigorous, man. Living under this devil is rigorous, man. It's a punishment.
Yeah.
And Jake, you're about to find that out the hard way, man, because now all your freedoms is being taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you did, you know, back in the days, like you know, back in the 90s, you used to go to a big park and cook out wherever you wanted to, man. Just find a spot and just cook out and all day. Now you got to go get a permit. If you don't find a place that's designated, you know, for a cookout. Man, back in the days, me and my family used to just walk the park. We used to go to Prospect Park, walk the park, and find a spot, man, and just cook out there.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
You can't do that no more, man.
Can't do that no more, man. This devil he choking the life out of you Israelites. He choking the life out of all the people in this country, man.
In a way, you can do nothing.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah. It's law called, I think, alimentation. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it's called. That in the future, you cannot grow any herb at the back of your house. You know, Obama did that. And all the president they're gonna put that bring back out in the future, you know. So Obama is the one that signed it into law.
God.
That he take from other presidents, you know, to push it in the future. You can't do no more saying you got to plant no moringa seed to grow plants. No, are these other natural herbs, you know, mango leaves for blood pressure problem. You can't do that no more. They're about to put that laws out there. They're already pushing that in the South. You can't have certain things no more. Man, it's just wicked, man.
But Jacob said he owned the land.
Yeah.
This is my house, my land, man. I own it.
You don't own your own wife, much less. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, even for instance, you know, I told our brother, I said, you don't own your wife, huh? I don't give a damn. Once you married your wife in Esau law, you do not own her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Once you get that woman, once you sign a marriage certificate, you do not own her. The city is the one that own your wife, because once you sign a marriage license paper, the city become the third party in the marriage. That means they could automatically, if Esau really want to take away our kids, they could do that. Because once you're married, even in Esau law with the ring, they have a right to take away your children, and they could challenge you in court for that because you already signed the paper as them become the third party in the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So you own your own wife, man. That's how wicked Esau in this world is, man. You know, I tell a lot of brother in the South know that. That's why they don't marry even in with the ring, because they know she belongs to the city. She belongs to the system. That's why they use a thing called common law. You know what I'm saying? Which go back into slavery. You know, they know who she's the wife once you live with her. You know, so there's a book. Go ahead, speak up, because I know because we're gonna stop now. So I'm gonna just bring it up, brother.
Yeah, man. I know people, man. They retire right after they retire, they die. Mm-hmm. They die. They put all that work in and save money, and they die. So I tell brothers and sisters to get the best out of life in the spirit of the Most High as much as you can, man, because you don't want to. This place is hell, man. Mm-hmm. This is hell. Nothing is good about this place. Everything is fights and arguments and frustration. And this is where the Bible comes into play, because the Bible tells you that the Holy Spirit is the comforter.
Yep.
And it will guide you and it'll take you to places where, you'll be in much more a peaceful state of mind. How many of you ever was having a real bad day and you just couldn't get it together and you just pulled over the car or stepped out the car or got off the train and sat in the park and just read a couple of verses and you just feel so much better, man. So much better, man, because your mind is getting back into the spirit. But if you have noise of cars blowing horns, police sirens going by, damn ninja women, ninja dudes walking around being animals, it starts to wear you down. But as soon as you get in them scriptures and it can be a basic chapter or a couple of verses, it just puts you back in the right state of mind. So you got to be mindful of that. Sometimes that's all you need,
It's like about, this is it, okay? This is the book right here. It's called Marriage License Fraud, right here. Excellent book. Excellent book. It's called Marriage License Fraud. A lot of brothers should try to get that book. That's a good book, man. Marriage License Fraud. And they tell you the history, all that marriage, that crap, take this older woman to be my wife, all that came from Rome. This is the Edomite guy here, man. He tell us straight up, marrying your wife should become part of the system. But we already know that before. But this book breaks it down clearer. Marriage License Fraud. It's a good book, man. I believe I paid like $15 for it on Amazon. And it shows you the history of these marriage, man. This marriage, people getting married is a fraud, man. Your real wife is one to lay down with that woman. That's your wife.
Right.
A common law thing, they each don't know that's your wife, but it's a good book, Marriage License Fraud.
Come.
Yeah. Let's finish up this verse and that's it.
This is Haggai 1:6.
Yeah.
Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
Yeah. It's called eating food by measure. You see what I'm saying? You don't have enough to sustain the whole family in the house. So you got to eat little today and leave tomorrow something for tomorrow.
Yeah,
and you have to drink a lot of water to fill your stomach. But these water today, we know there ain't no damn great good water. I mean, this water, I would not drink this water in the sink to save my life. Because we know that's human waste water. That same water you flush your toilet with, we know is the same water people are drinking out there in the street. I call it they call it tap water. Because I used to work for DEP and we used to recycle human waste. And the waste they use it for fossil fuel and other things. So when people cook with this water in the kitchen, man, it's no different from the water out there from the toilet. Same thing. Not to bring it up like that, just it shows how defiled Esau's system is, man. Nasty. Go ahead.
God, it says, ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
Right, because you don't have the money to buy clothes. Go ahead.
God, it says, and he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. A bag
in the Hebrew said kwashal mean purse with hole. Mean you cannot save a damn thing. That's why I said bag mean purse with hole. You can't save nothing. You know what I'm saying? You could try to save something, depending if you have a lot of family, children. You can't save nothing. But if you have you're single now, you have a chance to save something. But you have children, you're in trouble. That's why a lot of Jacobs say, "Yo, I don't want no kids, man, because I ain't got it like that. I don't want nothing to put on my pocket. I gotta save my money." But you can't save. It's a miserable life when you can't save the money, huh? You know what I'm saying? So when you look at your pay stub, you're like, God damn, where the money at? It's gone. That's how it is, man.
I got one.
Yeah.
Ezekiel chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at 7.
It
says Ezekiel 4 and 7. It says, therefore, thou shalt set thy face toward the seas of Jerusalem, and thine arm shall be uncovered, and thou shalt prophesy against it. And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another. that thou hast ended the days of thy siege.
Right.
Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millets and fitches, and put them in one vessel, and make thee bread thereof, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon the side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof. So this was when Israel was pretty much catching hell, they had to have a certain measure of things to survive during this time. It says and thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight. 20 shekels a day from time to time shall thou eat. So this was the amount that was supposed to be eaten a day in order to survive that time that you were being seized, that Israel was going to be seized. It says, thou shalt drink also water by measure. So you was drinking water. You wasn't coming, how Jake get, he just grabbing bottles off the, the counter. I need like 2-3 of these. Nah, you have to drink a certain amount. It says, the sixth part of an hin.
What verse you in?
Ezekiel 4 and verse 11. It says, thou shalt drink also water by measure, the sixth part of an hin. From time to time shalt thou drink. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. So this was a stressful time for Israel.
Yep.
They was catching hell, man. So they had to, they couldn't fill their faces, as they say in these days. Fill their faces, go get something to eat, and all you can eat buffets. There wasn't none of that, man.
Yep.
It says, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. So,
right.
Even up until this day, man, our bread is defiled, man.
I got a precept for that. One more precept. Amos 4 and 6.
Yeah, we got to close out after that.
Amos 4 and 6.
Amos 4 and 6.
Man, I wish you're fixing the door.
Come on. This
might be a little late back, okay?
Come on.
Yeah.
Amos 4 and 6?
Yeah.
Amos 4 and 6, it says.
Yeah.
And I also have given you cleanness of teeth in all your cities.
So cleanness of teeth means the Most High caused Israel to starve, give them empty stomach, right? Cause it to starve. Most High, that's what cleanness of teeth represents. Most High bring a siege on Jerusalem, a famine. That's why it says cleanness of teeth in all your cities. Go ahead.
And want of bread in all your places.
See, in all your places. Go ahead.
Ye have not yet, Slacky, yet have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord.
You see? So all the things the Most High did to our people by giving cleanness of teeth, by what? Bringing a famine on the land, our people were still flipping wicked. They still didn't turn to the Most High, man. And they're still stubborn as if today, man. Like we try to tell our people about the children of Israel, they're still being stubborn. That's what Most High say, he bring the cleanness of teeth. You know, tell our people they still refuse to come back to the Heavenly Father. You know, I just bring a precept about how Most High bring, link up how Most High bring a famine in the land of Israel, but our people are still being stubborn, man. Yep.
And it's gonna happen all over again.
Yep.
God. Scriptures say cannibalism is coming back.
Yeah.
That'd be real bad. Real bad. But it's Matthew 6 and 25. It says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. Those of you who are worried about your life and how you're gonna make ends meet, don't worry about that. If you're in the spirit of the Most High and you're doing what's right, he's got you. Sisters who are worried and don't know if they're gonna make it, don't worry. Trust in the Lord, he's got you,
Yes.
Fear not, for the Lord is with us. Then it says, what shall what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body and what ye shall put on.
Yep.
Is not the life more than meat and the body than raiment? So, in other words, the spirit and how we walk in the Most High is above meat and raiment. You understand?
Yep.
You just have to find a way to settle down, calm down, take a knee spiritually, and connect to the Most High. That's what you got to do. You got to find a way to adjust and connect to the Most High. Sometimes that's all it is. It's just a matter of adjusting in the spirit of the Most High. Sometimes that's all it is. You understand? And then when you read on, it says, behold the fowls of the air, meaning the birds, for they sow not. The birds, they don't work 9 to 5s and plow and dig up earth to survive and eat. Neither do they reap. They don't take up what they plant. Today, the brother went to Haggai 1:6. It mentions you sow much and you reap little. You understand? But the birds, they don't have to worry about that. They don't plant and work a 9 to 5, but they are all creations of the Most High.
God.
For they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. The Most High even looks out for birds and the creations to eat and to live.
Yep.
I think there's a scripture in Isaiah where it says the creatures and the trees and all creations groan for the coming of Yahweh Shai and the judgment of the Most High. Because this man, the wicked, he has put so much confusion and hell on this earth that everything is crying and groaning towards the Most High. You understand? But again, it says, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much more better than they? See? So you're above the birds and the animals. The Most High in Genesis said he gave man dominion over the animals that are on the earth. So try not to worry. Try not to stress yourselves out, because the judgment is coming, man. The judgment is coming. I showed you earlier. I ain't gonna play. I'm just gonna show you real quick in the picture that the devil has been given access by the Most High to shoot long-range missiles into Russia, and Russia gonna retaliate against Germany and America.
Yep.
So all we got to do is sit back in righteousness. All we got to do is live in righteousness and let the Most High do his bidding. The Most High says, in Matthew 24, these are the beginning of sorrows. Most High says that. And he tells us not to be troubled in Matthews. Same thing with your food and raiment. Same thing with the wars and rumors of war. Be not troubled. All you got to do is watch, study, and learn and maintain yourselves in the Most High. That's all you got to do. It's just that simple. You understand? Because the Most High, he's crushing them. Look at this real quick. These are the stars of heaven. I don't know how true this is, but Mayweather, they saying, is broke.
Yeah. I was watching that.
Yeah, I was just talking about it a couple weeks ago.
All that flashing that money around, and he don't care about no black folks and what the white people do to black folks and all that. He's about that money. Look at this dumb Negro now. Look at him. I'm gonna play a little bit of it so y'all can see. Play a little bit of it.
You aren't going to believe what the feds just found in Floyd Mayweather's garage. We're talking millions of dollars in cars, gone. Like the whole luxury lineup, Bugattis, Phantoms, Lambos, even his custom Ferraris all seized. And this ain't just about flashy whips, all right? This is part of a deeper investigation that's been creeping up on Floyd for a minute. This goes back to a messy scandal in New York. Real estate fraud, lawsuits, unpaid debts, and the same old Mayweather behavior of acting rich, but apparently being broke behind the scenes.
Look at that. Just that easy.
That's crazy.
Just that damn easy, man.
I know
Just that easy, man.
I know that the Mexican guy laughing at him because he can't stand Mayweather. What's his name? Golden Boy. He can't.
Oh yeah.
He said that one time. He said, Mayweather, one day you're gonna go broke. And he said that. I'm gonna show you the video next week. Cause my daughter knows, she seen the video the other day. She said, Mayweather, you're gonna go broke.
And that dude was he was raccooning over there in the land with those people, man. Going over there, praying with them at the wall and
Yep.
doing all this and doing all that, man. Just sending. Remember when that thing first jumped off with them and Hamas? He was giving them, some vests or something, giving them some kind of aid and all of that, man. You did all of that, man, and these the same people that's breaking you down, man. These are cool, man. We're gonna get rid of all of you raccoon Negroes, man. All of y'all, man.
De La Hoya. That's his name, De La Hoya.
Yeah, he can't stand for Mayweather. They said one day you're gonna go broke. That's so stupid, y'all. And this guy said he's coming true, man.
That dude is prideful too, man. Mayweather is very prideful, man.
Yeah.
Well, that money's gone. You're gonna see him fall because when Negroes lose their money, even the devil, when they lose their money, they snap, man, because that lifestyle is gone.
Yeah. And
everybody's looking at you and laughing now.
You got all that stuff you showing. You got a table with a bunch of money on it. They're going through your house. You're seeing all the cars, your house, and your mansion, your Mayweather mansion, and all this, man. All that is going to be taken away from you. If that's true, the video you just showed, man. Hey, the stars of heaven is falling, man.
Yeah,
it's so damn stupid. He was at a basketball game, counting money. Putting it in a bag and counting it. Well, who does that, man?
Yeah. It's ignorant, man.
So dumb, man. You look so lame,
Yeah. They got this other basketball player, Zion Williamson. Dude worth, I think they said 189 or 198 million. The dude just got caught up in a great an abuse case right now. So, that dude only 20-something years old, 22, I believe. So all of these people, man, all these people, man, all of these idols that people worship, they all gonna fall.
Stupid, man.
Makes no sense, man.
The Lord said His servants and His men is gonna be the famous ones in the last days.
Yeah. These guys is proud and just
arrogant.
Arrogant. You can't tell them nothing. Look at this right here. Look at this.
Dude is an idiot, man.
Be one of the greatest boxers ever, but this is weird as hell.
Look at him. Look at him like a big kid.
Yeah. Why would you bring a bunch of money to a game?
Right. Exactly.
What are you spending in that arena to where you need all that money to go with you to the game?
Look at him.
Now I know this guy has an obsession with money. He didn't get the name Money Mayweather for no reason. But after a bit, we've got to start to question this guy's sanity. And especially if you're doing it at an NBA game. Now that seat should be your friend, your spouse, your parent.
Insane, man. You said you got to question his sanity. Yeah, man. Dude is bugged out, man.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. I know that the rich shall fall, man. Yeah. These guys, they talk about their money, but what happens when the Most High make your money worthless, like I tell you in Ezekiel 7?
Yep.
What happens then? You look like a damn fool, and you're gonna have to use your spiritual wits to get by when that happens, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You're just stupid and dumb after a while, man. And that's what's happening, man. These dudes are so carnal and foolish.
I'm about to say that. Yep, they're not spiritual at all, man. They just worldly and carnal.
See what Warren Buffett said? He said, "What Warren Buffett said, man, there's no way in hell I pay $2,000 for a pair of shoes. Hell no." He said, when poor people get money, they don't know how to act, and they lose everything, man. Then he got an Edomite guy. He said, I'm not being racist, but the question I want to ask is why when black men get some money, like they don't know how to act. Yeah. They always bring them money, they go broke and so forth, And it's true, man. It's a damn shame, man. See this guy. Same thing with Tyson. Look at Tyson. Now he's using his common sense now. Tyson, now he's using, his money, differently.
Yeah, no.
Don King robbed the hell out of Tyson. He was giving Tyson brand new Rolls Royce, not knowing that it was Tyson money he was using. Tyson was so stupid. All the money Tyson, Donkey was giving, all the cars, nice cars to Tyson, that was from Tyson money. And Donkey was using Mike Tyson money to send his daughter to damn college, man. When Tyson found out, man, he cried, man.
That's insane. That's why the scriptures tell you wisdom is the principal thing, and that wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability at our times, man. Not no damn money, man.
Right. All right, man. Let's get gonna wrap up, man. You know, we thank you, brothers, for coming by, man. Always good to have you on the Shabbat. Helps the Shabbat goes through a lot smoother and easier than sitting home alone and doing nothing. So, water for stopping by. There's 14 people still watching. I don't know if this is a new wave of people. Please, man, if you can, hit that like button. You brothers and sisters who are currently watching, hit that like button, get the algorithms up. And you brothers, sisters, you stay strong in the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and do what's necessary to get by. It's very, very important to stay in the spirit and do what's necessary, man, because it's not getting any easier out here, man. But at the same time, in the spirit, it's not so hard if you're in the spirit of the Most High at the same time, man. And try to enjoy yourselves in righteousness, man. Try to enjoy yourselves in doing what's right in the Most High. It makes things a lot easier if you do that. Try to enjoy yourself, man, because it's more easier. Hey, Yashua, if you can, I'm trying to look for one of your videos, but I don't want to drop the link just lose the feed. Put the link into the chat of the comment section, one of your videos. I'm trying to get people used to going over there in case I'm away, because I don't know how to give you access to the page. I don't know how to do it yet. But if you can put the link on there, when you brothers and sisters hit that link and then subscribe to this brother's page.
See if I can do it real quick.
It's more frequent on uploads than me, so I'm all over the place. I try to put in.
I'm gonna see if I can do it right quick. But, see if it pop up in the thing. I put my latest one up.
Join the stream late. Are you late, brother? Quadash, he's late. We about to wrap up, brother.
All right, let me see.
But let me see if I can find it myself. This guy Mayweather is just a damn idiot, man. I don't know how anybody could be so stupid, man. First of all, you lose all your money. I don't know how the hell you lose all your money that quick. Well, they said through bad investments. He's quick to invest, and taxes. A lot of them don't pay their taxes. Because they don't pay their taxes, they get burnt.
But man, that's still insane, though.
It's because they tell you give Caesar due, right? They pay your taxes.
Right. But these dudes, and a lot of boxers go broke too. It's not just him. A lot of boxers and athletes, they go broke. They have millions, man.
Yeah.
And that can be crushing, man. To go broke and not have no money after that, man. That's just really crushing after a while, man.
Yeah, I tried to put it in there. I'm not sure if it.
All right, I mean, I'll see if I can get in there later, I guess. But for some reason, none of your pages are popping up on my thing. I don't know why. But either way, you brothers, you stay strong in the spirit. Thanks for coming by. We're gonna wrap to you later. I joined the stream late. This is our brother Radash. Thanks for joining us, man. Y'all brothers, stay in the spirit. Read that Bible daily, and don't let anybody get in your head. Don't let the haters see you down. Also, the haters would love to see us down. Do not let them see you down. Stay strong in the Most High. Now I understand why David always prayed that his enemies didn't get the best of him. I understand it a lot better now. So you brothers, you stay strong and stay in the spirit. And I'm out. Yeah, any of y'all got any last words? Or you
Yeah, I might be late, man, because the water thing's not working. We don't have no water here, So they're coming to.
We'll talk about it off. I'll call you off here, right?
I want to get out of the house, man. I can't bother, I want to get out. I might get in prison, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go on.
I gotta drive the back of the car. I think it got wet again a little. I'll hit you brothers in a little bit.
Okay. All right. Shalom.